get this stuff set. There we go. That's all good. And waiting for, there we go. Okay, so we're just gonna jump right into this. Even though I don't have anyone here in the chat yet, that's okay. That means I can just focus on the points that I want to make. We're just gonna jump right into this. We're starting off with Autumn Coffee, and we're just gonna hop right into it. And I know there's already gonna be some people who may be watching the archive and are screaming about me. Starting the Fortuna's already here. Look at that, eager to hear me rant. So yeah, I know maybe even Fortuna's gonna want me to start the timer, but hang on. Alright, so first of all, I'm just gonna go ahead and just apologize to Coffee Dev here, that I am using your game as a vehicle to make my point. No one in the chat, he said. One thing I do want to do is check the levels real fast. Oh yeah, it's kind of loud. So, do we have audio settings? Why is music all the way? Music is really loud. Oh dear! Okay. Woo! I got distracted. That was pretty intense. Hang on. We need to just open the volume mixer and just like crank this like down. Also, let's go ahead and ram that all the way up so we don't have problems with volume later. You can't even see what I'm doing. That's okay. All right. Looks like a Ren'Py game. Yeah, but it's Unity. Yeah. So, this is before I hop into this. Let me bring my rant back up here. There we go. I actually have bullet points to kind of try to keep myself like focused on the points that I want to make. I betrayed myself. It's a Unity game. Yes, it is. It's a Unity game. Don't worry, there's going to be some RPG Maker games after this one. I'm starting off with this one because, like I said, I wanted to start with a rant. And first, let me get back on track here. I just want to apologize to Coffee Devs. They are I believe, shit, I should have... This was a student project, alright? So we're going to cut them some slack. I'm not very good at cutting people slack, but I'm going to try my best whenever I actually do review the game. But I'm going to use this student project here as my vehicle to make a rant about the RPG Maker community, which is the main thing I really want to get into. And then we'll kind of like, review the game and all that later. So, which is the reason why I'm not starting the timer, is because I don't want to take away time from their game when I want to sit here and rant. So, yeah, like I said, I have bullet points over here, so I'm going to try my best to stick with these. So, the first thing I just want to say is, like, I mentioned this before on stream. The RPG Maker community seems to be very insular, and by what I mean by that is, like, everyone likes to just stay together, and they're really scared of the outside. They don't, when it comes to game development, they really don't want to step outside of that group in any form or fashion. They're gonna stick with their group, their crowd, and they're gonna stay with them. And anyone or anything outside they don't give a shit about. The point that I'm trying to make here is that RPG devs seem to market their game only towards other RPG devs. It's kind of funny. I coincidentally had just watched a video by this guy named Toasty. I never heard of him before. There's someone on the forums who had like asked about his stuff, and I looked him up, and coincidentally, hey, there's a video that talks about a very similar concept. This is some oddly cheerful music for for this. I do think it's going to be pretty text heavy, so I'm kind of like hesitating on going in, so that's why I've just switched over to my face. See, it's pretty much because RPG Maker is considered as a child's tool and gets ridiculed by other game tool communities because of its bad reputation around RTP and repetitiveness. Right! And that's what I want to talk about. It's exactly that. It sort of becomes this, like, feedback loop. So, so you wind up, like, yeah, so you kind of have this, thing where, like, RPG Maker devs just wind up making their game only for other RPG Maker devs. And so you kind of get this, like, everyone just stays inside this bubble. And that's what I'm talking about, this being a very insular community, is that all these games are marketed towards other RPG Maker devs who are also making games that are being marketed towards other RPG Maker devs. And nothing ever leaves this little circle, this little bubble here. And you wind up building systems and mechanics that are only for other RPG Maker devs. Like, it's only interesting to other RPG Maker devs because that's who they're marketing towards, and that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't want to sit here and say, bad, shame on you for doing that. There's really nothing wrong with that. But it's exactly what you just mentioned, Ithriel, is that you wind up with these people just seeing RPG Maker as this, you know, child's tool that gets ridiculed because of its reputation around the RTP and repetitiveness, exactly what you said. So it's like, if that's just what you want to do, that's totally fine if you just want to make your game for other RPG Maker devs. But then you sometimes have some people, and I'm not saying you guys are these people, but sometimes you have these people who maybe get loftier dreams about their games. We're going to be looking at some of these games today. It kind of sounds like I'm going to be throwing these games under the bus. And it's kind of maybe passing judgment before even actually taking a look, because I've only looked at their, you know, their store page, and that's really it. So I have no idea how RPG Maker-y they are. But basically, or even what their dreams, their ambitions are with their games. But really, the point I'm trying to say is, if you are someone who wants your game to be taken seriously, what you wind up doing is when you make this, when you make these games that are just marketed towards other RPG Maker devs, you wind up just hurting the accessibility of the game towards any sort of audience outside of RPG Maker games. Let's see, Fortuna, you said, also most RPG Maker users consider the engine as a hobby. They don't have the same pretensions, ambitions as the other end. Yeah, yes and no. I mean, okay, you're giving me a good segue into the next part that I want to talk about, so thanks for actually bringing that up, because that kind of segues into the next set of bullet points I have here. Before I dive into those bullet points, though, I do think there's sort of like this, it's like an inverted bell curve, where if we're talking about the amount of ambition has on the y-axis and age on the x-axis here, you get this inverted bell curve in ambition, I think, where is that right? Wait, do I have my y-axis wrong? But it definitely have age on the x-axis. I don't think that's entirely right. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is, it's kind of like when you have the younger audience. Ignore the whole graph thing, okay? I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about there. When you have this younger audience, I think they tend to have higher ambitions, and then kind of as they age up, they kind of slowly, kind of over time, more than likely realize that it's just a hobby without, you know, too high of ambitions behind it. So, you know, just kind of, I guess it's a decline if we're going to go back to that graph thing, as people realize it's more of a hobby thing with age. But that's not entirely true. You have some outliers too. So, you know, that brings me into, like, my position. Like, I don't think I've ever really talked about this on any of my streams. So I kind of wanted to talk about my own position on RPG Maker. I briefly mentioned this in my RPG Maker has a terrible reputation video, but it was like maybe one sentence, and I don't know, I didn't really like bring this point forward. I've always, like, for the longest time, you know, that terrible reputation that RPG Maker has, I was one of those people who just absolutely, like, despised anything that came out of RPG Maker for the longest time. It wasn't until last year in maybe October or November, so I haven't even been using RPG Maker for a year yet, that one of my coworkers kind of convinced me to pick it up because I wanted to make a game. And he was like, well, before you get into any serious engines, why don't you just try game making with something a little bit easier? And suggested RPG Maker. So the whole reason I'm using RPG Maker in the first place is because of him, and it was really just, to me, I just saw it as a stepping stone. If I'm being honest, I don't really like RPG Maker. Like, my view on it has completely changed since before picking it up, obviously. I do see its potential as an engine, but like most of the games that I've played through all of these streams, I don't know, they haven't really left much of a feeling. Like, they're not games I would really play in my own free time. I don't really find any of them that interesting. Like, maybe Faded Blue, the IGMC game that I played. It was like one of the first IGMC games. But I don't even know if I'd really play it for the game itself, is because there's some pretty funny writing in there, and that's really it. So, like, I don't know, these games are, it's fun to play them on stream, you know, laugh and have a good time, but they're not games I'm going to go out of my way and download and play on my own free time. Square Shape was pretty good too, actually, but anyways, you know, this all also depends on, you have short games are fine. It's kind of a different story. I don't know. Anyways, what have I missed here? This is why I'm glad that One Shot and Omori became popular, even though I don't like, sorry, my bullet points are in the way, don't like it as much. They opened up RPG Maker to a large audience. Yeah, definitely. Although I do think here's the thing, is like, you got to understand that there is an audience. I don't know how big this is, but there is an audience of people who like to play indie games, but they also are probably not people who even think about engines, or they might not even know what an engine is. Like, I'm sure they know that games are made with software, but they may not even understand what that exactly looks like or entails. There could even potentially be an audience, I mean, they don't even care to think about it. That's the thing, is I'm not saying like they wonder, it's a mystery to them. I'm saying like it's a non-consideration to them that's just who it is. So like, to them, One Shot and Omori were just accessible to them because it looked like a game that they were interested in. They didn't give a shit about what it was made with. That didn't matter to them at all. And there's probably a large bit of audience that don't care. And I think one of the most important things is that whatever engine you use, it doesn't matter whether it's Unreal, Unity, Game Maker, RPG Maker, like, it really shouldn't feel like you are using a template. You are trying to make your own game. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what software you're using. The game that you put out should feel like it is its own thing. Coincidentally, that's actually touching into my next set of bullet points here. I actually haven't played One Shot or Omori, but Steam really wants me to play Omori because it gets recommended to me all the time. RPG Maker should just be a tool to make games, but it's become, okay, so that's the bullet point. RPG Maker should just be a tool to make games, but it's sort of become this man, I don't know what to say. Oh, hey! Good point. Many ARM games look like they're just using a template. I think that's pretty much nails it. Nice to have you here. Thank you. Yeah. You wind up with this thing where, like, RPG Maker should just be a tool to make games, but it's kind of just become, as Yithril put it, it's just kind of a child's toy, where it's about, like, impressing other people in the community that use the same toy. Again, coming back to that whole idea that it becomes this insular community that people don't really think too much about the people on outside of that bubble. So, yeah. Let's see, that's why I think RPG Maker still has a reputation of every game from the engine is the same. It's because everyone's just making making games that are in this little insular bubble here for each other. You have a few exceptions, like you guys are talking about right now with Omori, One Shot, To the Moon. Glad to have you here. And glad to know that sharing that stuff has helped out. Let's see. Lisa the Painful. Oh, what's that other one? I think we talked about one of his newer games. Symphony of War. Symphony of War, by the way, that's another one that's kind of broken out of that RPG Maker circle. But his previous one, was it Skyborn? I don't remember. Anyways, you know, there's a number of there's a handful of different games that have come out of the engine that have broken out of that circle and have actually had an appeal to them that goes beyond people who use the engine. RPG Maker became the gateway for easy access to creation of games that looks the same as a large portion of the adult RPG Maker games use RTB, meme games, and more. Yeah. Speaking of meme games, yeah, it's kind of funny. One of the first things I think of with RPG Maker is iDubbbz. I can't believe I still recall this. Let me see if I can bring it up. This is an old video, and considering iDubbbz gets demonetized all the time, I wonder if it's even up. Here we go. Let's bring this over here. Let's switch cameras. Am I on the right camera? Yeah, there we go.
Oh boy, it's been a long time since I've done one of these Kickstarter crap videos. Hope I don't frick it up.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Kickstarter crap. Today's piece of crap we're gonna look at is called Weedopia, a game about weed. Oh man,
this is our community. This is one of our games. I mean, to be fair, this was 2014, but
spliffs. I want to make spleefs. I want to make roaches, coaches, and Coachellas of weed. It's high time that weed and video games came together as one. Too long has weed stood in the shadows as video games filled up the spotlight. With my brilliant game, I can combine weed and RPG Maker to bring you Weedopia.
Yep.
Hey guys, what if we make...
Alright, let me see what I've missed here. RPG Maker makes it easy to create a game. Many just don't realize that making a good game is a whole different beast. Many might just not be as creative as they thought they would be too. Fair enough, yeah. I mean, I think, like, to me, it's been a pretty important, like, step in my adventure here to make my magnum opus of a game. I don't know if that'll ever come, because I've realized that just with my current game, it's taken a lot of time, and I'm not a full-time game dev. I actually have 2 different jobs that I do that are totally unrelated to game development. Plus, my original hobby is music, and as much as I love my soundtrack, I absolutely love my soundtrack. Sometimes I get, I want to do not the soundtrack. I want to do, you know, the weird kind of music that was not so popular that I did before. So, you know, it's a lot of time spent focusing on this game that I just haven't even played that many games throughout this time since I started doing development. So I don't know. I've been debating whether I even wanted to continue to pursue the path of my magnum opus or not. Although coincidentally, it's kind of funny that my friend that had gotten me into RPG Maker in the first place, he didn't want to help me make my game, even though he's a programmer. He used to work for Intel. He didn't want to make my game until, I don't know, apparently now he's gone off on some crazy fucking weird tirade. Apparently he watched a bunch of interviews that Mark Zuckerberg did about the metaverse, and now he simply just wants to learn Unity for the sake of future-proofing himself. I don't know what the fuck he's on about. He's a little bit crazy, but either way, he's already proposed, hey, let's make that game that you wanted to make. It's just right on, man. Still doing the RPG Maker thing like you recommended. RPG Maker is only a good engine to make games. Yeah, maybe. IMO biggest problem with any development of game is art, so people just stick with basic assets. Yeah, definitely. I think art has been one of the biggest struggles for everything that I've ever done. From my own music, if I wanted like a nice album art for my music, or I wrote a book in the past, and I gone through a couple of different artists just trying to get an artist that would commit to the project, and that actually fell through. It was kind of in a sense. I mean, it's mostly my own responsibility for the book. I'm gonna take like 80% of the blame, 70% of the blame. But the whole reason why that book project got canceled and just got dumped, unedited on a free site to read is because I got sick of having to deal with artists that would just drop out for whatever various fucking reasons. It's basically artists that made me fucking quit writing novels. And now here we are making games, and it's like I trying to find an artist or and deal with that kind of shit again, or use free assets and stuff. So let's get back to my bullet points, and eventually we'll review the game that I have open. Which we might as well open that up back up so we can have the background noise again. So let's see. Where did I leave off? Oh yeah. Will my own game break the mold? Will my game, for all this talk, is my game going to break this RPG Maker mold? Probably not. But I do think there are some things about my game that I feel like are different than your typical RPG Maker dev bubble that goes on. I'm not saying it's wholly unique. We were just talking about art just now. I use, I use a lot of the ref map stuff that's just been recolored. So, it's not going to be blowing your mind. Not to mention there's still a lot of like RTP sprites and stuff in there. So. Let's see. Before I continue, what did Fortuna say? Completely misspelled my phrase. I wanted to say RPG Maker is a good engine to make game jam games with, especially if the participants are hobbyist devs. Yeah, that's actually really accurate. Trying to find an artist is difficult. Thanks, Israel. Yeah. Let's switch to desktop. I haven't talked about this yet. Oh my god. There we go. Don't do that. Come on. So the background art that I have here, this is my title menu for the game, actually. I found an artist here in Japan that helped me do this, and she's really nice. She's really, really sweet. And I'm fortunate that I found her, but it took so long to find her. And I love her art. Her skills are great. And her prices are affordable. But it's not perfect. She's very, very slow. Very slow. But I'm not complaining. The quality is good. But this is only really for CG art. She can't really do pixel art stuff. So I'm kind of on my own for that stuff. So it's like, cool, I got some CGs But my game doesn't really rely on those too much, so it's like I can do some good, promo art and stuff like that. I found her through, like I said, she's a Japanese artist, but I found her through Pixiv, which is a Japanese site as well. Let's see if I can bring that up. Is it .co.jp? I'm pretty sure it's .co.jp. Nope, never mind. It's .com. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, where the just give me Pixiv. That's not it. That's it. .net. Okay, alright. Here we go. Here's Pixiv. Yeah, it's the cheap, fast quality triangle dilemma. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm glad that, like I said, that she's affordable, and I don't need a lot of, like art for my game, not CG art. Yeah, actually, here she is, right here. So I just like browsed through different artists on Pixiv and eventually found her. And just got in contact with her. It's kind of tough to communicate because she doesn't really speak English. My Japanese is, well, especially written. I can't write Japanese worth a damn. But it doesn't matter anyways. Even my speaking Japanese is still absolute pants. So most of our communication has been using Google Translate. Here's where I think a lot of, or at least my previous artists with my book had gone wrong, is that a lot of it was done through translation, although actually we had an interpreter. Her sister spoke really great English, so she was my interpreter. But regardless, anyways, I think my previous artist just misunderstood something and decided that she didn't like what I said and decided to quit. But her name is Simone. Simone has been rather understanding, like dealing with the trouble of using Google Sensei to translate our messages back and forth. And despite that, like here's the funny thing is that the art that I had done, this is almost exactly what I had described to her, which is impressive because my album art that I had done, let's see, we're gonna have to borrow this one. By the way, do I have the, yeah, okay, I'm gonna make sure I have the right camera set up. My album art that I had done, which is gonna be somewhere. Gotta somehow navigate to it. My music folder is a disaster too. Here, and this is the album. Is the album art here? No, is the album art here? No, that's just the single. Oh my god, what the fuck did I do with it? Maybe it's just gonna be music. Maybe I just have the cover art there. Who knows where this shit goes? 2021 believe cover. Here we go. Okay, here. Yeah. So this cover art, I like it. Don't get me wrong. I use it. It's the avatar that I have on the RPG Maker forums. But it is not at all what I had described to the artist. And the funny thing is he spoke pretty good English. English wasn't his first language, but he still spoke pretty good English. So it's kind of funny how this artist, who doesn't really speak any English, and we've had to communicate through Google Sensei, understood me better than the artist who does speak some English, and gave me something that is not at all what I had requested. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked here. Art, man. Yeah. So as I was saying, my game's probably not going to break the mold, but there are some things that I do with my own game, such as giving extensive options. I try to consider other players as well, not just like RPG Maker people. with my game. Like I said, it's still mostly going to be an RPG Maker game that's just going to be probably mostly interesting to other RPG Maker devs. So I don't know if it's going to break that mold. But I think really my thing is that I really think more RPG Maker devs really should play more games. I mean, this is totally baseless, but sometimes it feels like some of the games that I've played and have reviewed have come from people who just maybe they have played a lot of games, but they haven't really taken time to think about what it is that makes those games work. Or I can also imagine there might be some people who just play a bunch of like AAA games and think, oh, this only works because they have a huge budget, and just shut down any possible way of considering how to implement certain features that probably don't require a huge budget to implement into their own game. I'm really talking about quality of life kind of stuff, from UI design to options and controls and tutorials and information. Like, a lot of this is the kind of general stuff that I often see lacking in a lot of the games that I play. Take it from Fortuna, who's had probably perfect attendance with my stream. Thank you, Fortuna. Who knows that I pretty much go straight to the options menu to check, has this developer considered what other players might want to adjust for themselves? So, when I make these reviews, there's really only two purposes for me making these reviews. Obviously, like I said, one of the main things that I would like to do is show off indie devs. And I mean, like, Fortuna's a creep. It's fine. What he does, or she, I actually really don't know, is boost my engagement. And also, without Fortuna, most of the time these live streams would be me talking to an empty room, which I've done for a long time now, but I'm glad that I'm not talking to an empty room anymore. I'm good at bullshitting for an hour and a half, but I can tell you, it's not as exciting as actually having people to talk with on the streams. So, always glad to have a creep here. Anyways, we've seen, since probably over the last decade, we've seen a real rise in indie games where I would say you get, what would you call it? Like, I feel like calling it, it feels like the AAA of indie, where it's still an indie game. They have a fraction of the budget of, any AAA games, but compared to most indie developers, they are well off. And these are the games that tend to get a lot of press, a lot of coverage, a lot of people talking about. We're talking about Dead Cells, Hollow Knight. You can rewind a long time ago to Braid, kind of like the original like indie game that kind of kicked it all off. And you have Limbo, and you have what's the one that made by the same guy? Inside, I think it is. You get all these like indie games that get a ton of press. But really, what I'd really like to show off is the really tiny indie games, and the ones that really don't get that much coverage, which is what I've been colloquially calling ultra indie, because they are the ones that that are really small. So that's one of the points. That's one of the things that's one of the purposes of this stream, is of course showing off other indie games. My last favorite AA indie games were Author-Side and Paradise Killer. Not familiar with those. I mean, to be fair, I call them AAA indie games, but like I said, they still have a tiny fraction of the budget of most real AAA games. So, they don't have as strong of a marketing presence, but they certainly do get a lot of attention. That a lot of, let's say probably 99% of indie developers don't get, because they don't have any budget. Their budget is whatever remains out of their paycheck after paying rent and bills and, maybe going out for pizza or going to the bar for a night. And whatever is left out of that paycheck is what they can put towards their game, which for some might be a lot. For others, they might need to save up a couple of months' paychecks before they can even commission someone to do one piece of CG art. So, that's one of the reasons. Second reason, I'm gonna be completely blatant here. Marketing. I get to talk about my game. I get to show off my game, and while I don't think I'm going to, get even 1,000 downloads, at least bringing some eyes here will at least hopefully maybe translate into a couple more sales, or at least some interest in my own game. So that's just being completely transparent about that. Those are the two reasons for these streams, is indie devs and marketing. So that's pretty much all of my rant that I wanted to make here before we hop into actually reviewing games. Surprisingly, I've talked for 36 minutes. Wow, that was basically a whole game review right there. But those are all the major points that I want to make. I just think that the RPG Maker community really has a problem of, like, it creates this feedback loop where you're in this Insular community and you develop games for other RPG Maker devs, and it just kind of creates this feedback loop where everyone's just kind of caring about each other in this group, which is great. I mean, I'm so happy that, like, I came in as a fucking nobody into the RPG Maker forums, and people politely answered my questions. And I specifically say politely too, because, like, you can go to, like, Reddit or other forums and you might get answers, but even sometimes there's a hint of snark behind them. And I know that's not true for everyone, but overall my experience with the RPG Maker forums has always been rather positive. And coming from, before I landed on using RPG Maker, I had tried Unity, and I had reached out to the Unity forums, and for the most part, my help requests got largely ignored, which made learning Unity that much harder. I know people will just say, oh, there's hundreds of resources out there for you to learn, and trust me, I have a book for Unity somewhere, because that's I guess that's just the way that I learn. I know there's videos and stuff like that too, but I just kind of prefer reading information, and forums are great for that, because you get direct information that you can read and digest at your own pace. So, I don't know. That's my rant. Let me top off my drink, and we'll just go into reviewing some games, starting with an indie game that is not RPG Maker. I've been talking about this. I'm going to occasionally review a game that's not RPG Maker, because this is not about RPG Maker. This is about indie games. And I think we should really look at other indie games too. And the more features you have, the more difficult it is. True that. One thing I will say though is, between using both trying to learn Unreal and trying to learn Unity, what I will say is that at least out of the box, I think Unity is tougher to get even just movement going, because it is basically a blank, empty canvas with no templates. One thing that I do really like about Unreal Engine is that out of the box, it gives you some templates for different game genres. So, which is nice. So you can, if you just want a third-person game, you just click the third-person template, and you already have a character controller set up and some basic jump physics and stuff like that set up. You don't even need to take time setting that up. So at least the initial startup for Unreal is simple. But I haven't really gone beyond those steps for either of the engines. I've set up a character controller in Unity, had some basic stuff, some basic jump movement mechanics set up, stuff like that. But and that's about as far as I made it. So I probably will give Unity or Unreal another try once I finish this game. But that's some time from now. So, anyways, I guess since let's close out all of these. I guess since I didn't even click play on this game, we'll just go ahead and start the timer. But I'm gonna reduce it actually. We're gonna reduce it to, let's just do 25. So I think that'll be fair. So there we go. So now that I'm gonna review the game, the first thing I already want to mention is the audio options maybe have a little bit of a problem. Alright? If you're wearing headphones, like myself, watch your ears, okay? I discovered this earlier when we first launched the game. You hear how that guitar is getting a little bit crispy? We call that clipping. The audio should not be clipping at, what is that, like 45%? 40% of the way up? And you can really crank that son of a bitch up. And now things are really crisp. So, that's already a problem. maybe work on the volume mixer. I don't know how you can clip the audio so bad, but it's pretty impressive. And we thought RPG Maker was loud. Yeah, 40 minutes discussion, 25 minutes playing the game. Yeah. It's perfect ratio. So don't worry, we'll do the 35 minutes with the other games. I think this is a visual novel, so it may not be the most exciting thing. Alright, we just kind of jump in here. What's up? You've opened your own cafe. Let me help you with cooking. Just click on me to get my order on and take this cooking book on your left shoulder to look up the recipes. I want a latte and muffin with blackberry cheesecake. Latte. Coffee, milk. How do I, well, take your muffin. Here's your muffin. Or do I just put it, where do I put it? Huh? Latte. Oh, okay, alright. Coffee. The dev of yesterday's review is still... Oh, did you do a review? Oh, place cup here. Where's my cup? Here. Place cup, oh. Place cup here. Milk. Milk? How do I make this work? Oh, okay, there we go. Okay, is that, oh, yeah, okay, alright. How do we deliver? Take your, it disappeared. Did he get it? I don't know if he got it. Hey, I think you and I have something in common then. I should ask you how you handle that. I've had to issue an apology before because some devs have... I haven't had anyone... Starbucks Simulator. I haven't had anyone get quite so defensive. Oh no, here's my... Wait, but it was... What? Where do I put it? I don't think Starbucks has this trouble. I don't think the baristas at Starbucks have to fix... Good job, here comes my first income. Woo! I also wanted to say that you should be careful next time because I'm the first and last patient guest you'll have today. Yeah, but buddy... I want a cappuccino and muffin. What's cappuccino? So this is... It's coffee, milk. Okay. Cup. Cup. Okay, coffee, milk. Does it go here? I placed cup there. Okay, there. We have that. And a muffin. And a muffin. Where do I put the fucking... Okay, let me see. Let's see. The dev yesterday review is still arguing with me in my DMs. Gotta love devs that defend the games to death. Starbucks Simulator, I do. Oh man, I need to elaborate this in a couple of minutes then. Gotta go grab groceries. Sure, no problem. Take your time. Honestly, I think your review was fair. The game has a good promise, but it fails to keep the player interest. I'll have to check it out, Mr. Simple Gaming. I'll probably take a look at your profile, see what you review and how you do things. Might be nice to see another person review some games that's not completely terrible to to watch. It certainly is. Good evening. One Americano, please. Of course, one moment. Oh god, I'm tired because of my dumb boss. Every time he enters the office, I get irritated. He wants to have a total control over the work process and doesn't give any... Find a new job. Maybe you should try to find a workplace. Oh, I never thought about that. Okay, I'll try. This is high stress for just some general... Just some relaxed talking. So, you have a cup. And coffee. And place a cup there. And, well, oh, that's all he wants. There you go. Did he take it? Did he get it? I don't know. I gave you the Americano. Did he get it? Did it just disappear? Yeah, it definitely needs a lot of feedback. I have no clue what I'm doing. Where do I put this? Here. It's just disappeared again. Why did it disappear? Did he take it? Am I just giving him free coffee? Take it on your face. So let's see. The sum of the previous phrase. It's too much. Yeah. Starbucks Simulator is missing player feedback. Yeah, I don't know where to put this. Here you go. It just disappeared again. What? Do you want that? On the table? In the window? There? I mean, I don't know what to do. I'm just giving away free shit because why not? Well, at least I'm trying. I mean, I was kind of hoping maybe I could just give away free shit to figure out how to do this. Like, here, take some pie. I don't know. I'm at a loss. Maybe 20 minutes was too generous. Oh, my working day is over. Oh no, I still haven't figured out how to play the game. Is that it? Is it gonna auto progress? Or is that just it? Just 2 days? Did it break? Did I break it? Oh, see? Maybe I wonder if it's soft locked because the the guy was there. Like, the timer never went up, so I think I was supposed to do something with him, but I never solved what to do. I think it was just give him the coffee. I don't know. And I guess they just... I think the game is soft locked because the game doesn't know what to do. Wow, I wish there was like an F4 to like minimize. There. Where were... Oh, yeah. Well, I think I used... Gotta navigate back to the games that I was gonna play in my folder. There we go. 40 minutes discussion, 10 minutes game is better ratio. I'm gonna give it one more try, okay? And then if I can't figure it out, then yeah, we'll just call it quits. Can I click on the lady in the back? No, I don't think so. Oh, okay. Wow, I clicked on it real fast, so I miss you. Okay, so you want an espresso with caramel, syrup, and red topping. Syrup with red topping? Sounds awful. I think I saw the espresso is just like 3 things of coffee, so... 1, 2, 3. That's an espresso. And then... oh, does he want to add the syrup? Wait, hang on. Oh, now it just won't go away. Here. What about... Okay, alright, now it's gone. Alright, there, there, there. It said syrup, but what's syrup? Maple? I guess so. And now... Oh no, I can't grab my coffee cup! No. Oh no! I can't grab my coffee cup! Oh no! Okay, well, that one will just stay there. Oh, coffee... syrup and red topping, I think. And... Okay, I double-clicked it and it... Alright, so... how about that next game, huh? Alright, we'll just stop the timer. Okay, let's set the timer back 35 minutes. Right, so, could use a little work. It is a student project, so, yeah, keep at it, students. You're gonna be making more better games than me, because you didn't use RPG Maker. Anyways, here it is. We'll give a quick read over the page. You are the bartender, owner of a cozy cafe where you place orders for visitors and listen to the stories. Also, we'll see if I did anything wrong here. Please report any questions or bugs to us. We are always ready to respond. I wonder how true that is. I guess we'll find out because I certainly had some bugs and questions. We are a group of students and this is our first game in an extended team. We are going to continue to create games and we will be glad of your feedback. We also have our own Discord group, which you can join at this link, which is right there if you just want to write that down yourself and put that in yourself. Yeah, so anyways, keep at it, devs. It wasn't really my kind of thing, though. It had some problems. Just a few. I do like the colors are nice. The art is okay, too. I think the colors make up for the art the most. Music is pretty peaceful. Could use with some more sound effects, which would also improve feedback. Like, whenever you put the thing into the cup, I know the cup kind of expands, but it would be nice if there's a little bit more, like, sound feedback, like a bling, whenever you put the correct thing in there or something. I don't know. Or not necessarily the correct thing, but whenever you put something in. Yeah. Anyways. And it definitely needed a lot more playtesting too, I really think. It feels like the devs didn't playtest it enough as, like, they didn't get enough, like, beta testers, really, before putting it out to... Because the devs clearly just playtested it as a dev, knowing exactly what to do. Outside of getting beta testers, you should at least try to put yourself in the mindset of someone's first time. I know that's kind of hard to do when you're the dev and you know what everything is, but do your best to get into that role of a first-time player, and it kind of might help you interact with the game in a different way and see things a little bit differently. That would be my advice for playtesting if you can't get beta testers. Anyways, moving on to the next game, we're going to go into RPG Maker games now. Next we have Gerald, it's probably Gerald Ventures. Now I read Gerald as Gerald because of The Witcher. This developer put out a request to have their game played, and I decided to take up their request and give it a try. I took up their request to review their game without even looking into it, and before committing to it, I realized I may have walked into something. I don't know what to say about it, if I'm being honest. Other than props for unique art. Yeah, props for unique art. Well, anyways, let's not pass judgment so quickly. Let's give it a try and see how this plays out. Here we go. It's loud. Yeah, we'll just knock that down to 20%. Actually, it's still loud at 20%. It's loud for me. It looks like it mixed pretty well. Oh, we should set the timer too. Let's not stick with this game longer than is necessary. Yeah. Anyways, no WASD. I know it's MV. We saw the splash screen at the start. So I can rant and rave about not implementing Yawnfly's keyboard config. It's free. It's a free plugin. Just use it. I hope you have an excuse. I hope when I launch this game, you have like all sorts of wacky key bindings that make it impossible to use Yawnfly's keyboard config. Though, if I have to say, you know, what we were just talking about earlier, like, that's a very kind of like Insular RPG Maker dev kind of thing, is just accepting arrow keys as the norm and not considering any other keyboard controls for anyone else, and then just coming up with an excuse. Well, you know, we couldn't really rebind it because we bound these keys to everything. Like, that's fine if you want to do that. It costs 5 minutes of time, 20 pounds per hour, 20 euros per hour. Ever since man reclaimed this world from demonkind 12,000 years ago, the Church of Lloyd JC has been protecting humanity from all sorts of supernatural evil. Brave men and women of the Church have endlessly helped the innocent to fight the forces of darkness. The story is about one such hero, the great paladin of the this brave man was born in the illustrious wealth. Travis family, he was sent to work with the Church to learn humanity and the tradition. He quickly rose through the ranks, becoming a knight of the highest order. He was soon loved with every fair. Oh my God! Why do you start? Why do you start off with scrolling text, and then you just go into ... and it's not scrolling text? I mean, I would hope ... would not be scrolling text, because what a waste of time. But it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, here's the thing. You want to do like some cinematic, like Star Wars intro. My younger self, who doesn't understand well, didn't understand anything. Here's the thing. Like, if you want to do the like Star Wars like text on a background kind of intro, and you don't want to do just plain window boxes for whatever reason, you have two options here. You can just use if you're going to have a black background, you can just use the transparent or dim option. I mean, both of those options are black, or nothing or black, so it would just blend in. And then just put it in the center and put your text there. Job's done. Option 2, which if you want to like have like interesting formatting on your text, maybe some little flourishes and stuff. Let's see. You're a super fun YouTuber. I remember watching you and being very interested, but I forgot to subscribe, so couldn't find you after many days. Hope the Thanks, Jinia Chatterjee. Nice to hear those words. Anyways, so if you want to do like something with like interesting formatting and have some little flourishes around the text, like I don't know, whatever you want, then make it an image. Render it as a PNG, and then just use you can use blank text boxes. It'll show your little arrow down there. That's fine. I think that's okay because having the arrow there, you can use a blank text box that is transparent, and then just the little arrow will show up, and that'll basically just tell people, hey, you need to press a key to progress. Anyways, I think I do this in my own game at some point where like it pops up an image, but it's not a text box. But I use an invisible text box and to kind of pause the image from showing up. And when you press progress, it just closes the image. Do that for your intro. Don't do the scrolling text. Worker, brother Puffy, wake up. Your partner is here. Puffy. Ugh, I must have dozed off. Why is he always so late? Thanks, I'll go meet him outside. Ah, brother Gerald. You're here at last. Yeah. Also, aren't I mean, I use Yonfly's message core, which, by the way, is another free plugin for MV. So I don't know if it's in vanilla RPG Maker, but I think that like the name boxes are. I think it would be better to have the name boxes just because they'd move this text out of the way up there, so then you get more of the text box dedicated towards text. Just that's a matter of personal taste. I think it's better because typically when I see text here, even if there's a colon there, I generally want to read that as part of the text. So it's just, I think it's better to move it up there so people don't accidentally read names as part of the text. Don't tell me you ran all the way here. Actually, we have carriages, you know, or you could have just rented a horse. You know I have a terrible history with horses, brother, but I will use a magic-powered carriage when I get the authorization to use one. As soon as I become a battle monk, that is. Brother Gerald? Yes? Didn't you receive your promotion letter? I'm sure I saw a courier give it to your brother Puffy 3 days ago. Shut up! You didn't tell me? How could you? Well, this mission is really tough, and I wasn't sure if I could do it alone. So I decided to wait until it's over to give you the news. Lord, I hope he buys it. Oh, okay, I guess. Yays. I mean, yes, let's go defeat the evil that is bothering the people here. Alright, let's go. Oh dear. Do I need to say it? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This looks terrible. I really hope it's placeholder art. It really looks like you need to use some smoothing, first of all. Some sort of AA. Whatever program you cut it out of obviously hasn't used any sort of filtering on it, so everything looks like really, really jagged. I'm not sure how well that shows up on stream. It probably shows up pretty well, but you know, my stream OBS video preview is pretty small, so it looks fine in the video preview, sort of. You can actually see this jaggy really clearly, even in the video preview. So, yeah, I don't know, man. It's, I guess, cool that it looks like you're using some sort of 3D modeling software to make people. But this looks bad. I mean, I don't even think the models really look that great. And here's the thing, like, if it's pre-rendered models, if it's pre-rendered, you really have, like, no excuse. You could have high poly count models, which actually I have no idea how high the poly count is. But anyways, considering there's some seams in the shoulders here, I assume that it's probably not... It's probably, like, game-ready models, not, like, cinema-ready models, if that makes sense. And I don't know, I think they should look good. These just look like default assets in like a 3D program. I think the aesthetic could be very charming, but it's weird having the images of 3D humans alongside default assets, and the animation for the bald guy is a bit too jagged. It could be, yeah, right? I was working up to that, but you're right, yeah. You having this RTP 2D stuff with the... I mean, I personally don't really like the 3D stuff, but you were right. I think it would work a lot better if it was consistent. And it's not consistent right now, so it's very jarring having these 3D models with 2D RTP stuff. Oh, suddenly you're too good to help the common folk with their troubles. It's not that, please stop dancing. It's called a stance, brother. Much better than standing still like cardboard. But I guess that's what 3 agility gets you. Whatever, let's get this over with. Seems like there's supposed to be some sort of attempts at humor in here, but I'm not feeling it. So we have a scrolling item, our actions here: attack, magic, throne, sorcery, guard, item. No magic. Guess 10 is how many we have of that item, maybe? Or is that TP? I don't know. This takes 10, so let's see if that TP goes down. I don't know, just attack. Isn't that action sequence? Okay, so that is TP. So I think they are using... Well, they're using some sort of plugins, because as far as I'm aware, I don't think the actors move towards the enemies. So it's kind of interesting that it seems so vanilla, but they actually have that implemented. I guess that's done. What a battle. Certainly a fitting ending to our 6-month partnership. Sure. Before I forget, the Ferris Sheik asked me to give you this potion. He said use it in case of extreme danger only. So you've one almighty potion. I think we should celebrate. Brother Gerald, finally doing elite missions. You will get your office and your own staff. That's great. Yeah, it's pretty awesome, isn't it? Nothing compared to the wealth of the Tarvanas family, though. Here we go again. Excuse me, but on the plus side, I have heard that the lovely Dame Claire has been tasked with the orientation of every new battle monk regarding their office. Ugh, not that shit, I guess. She is, or bitch, maybe. She is truly the paragon of beauty and strength. Hey, where did you go, brother? Brother Gerald, Dame Claire will see you now. This way to your new office. Yeah, man, I don't know. I saw this in the screenshot. And this looks like some sort of combination of MS Paint some 3D model program and I don't know, some cutouts of PNGs. And some weird Photoshop filter on this wall. What is going on with the wall? I almost wanted to say like it's AI generated, but I don't think so because it kind of looks like a filter more so than AI generated. But also it's in weird like parts. Like you can clearly see the seam right there. And another seam right here. What is... anyways, well, it looks like the shoe cover has been promoted. The High Father told me, as the highest ranking Arch Knight, to guide every single person who gets to your rank regarding the basics. Humility, he says. So listen carefully, Torb. This here is your office. This is where you will prepare for your mission. Right, so, did I say you could talk? That's what I thought. So, you will receive 10 command points for each mission. Command points are like currency. You can buy weapons, items, gather intel regarding your upcoming mission. Consult the Oracle. Do you mean Oracle? He thinks he can consult the actual Oracle. No, only his intern. Anyways, a quick summary of the things you see here. This crystal ball you see here is used to contact the Oracle. You may ask him to use his future sight. I thought I said I couldn't. I thought she said I couldn't talk to the Oracle. So can I or can I not? This will allow you to get a few hints about your upcoming mission. A few vague hints, that is. How convenient. To my left is the current supply of potions and other consumable items available to you. Any unused items will be returned to the church. To my right is a sorcery stone generator. It is one of the two methods by which magicless losers like you can cast spells. Sorcery spells are strong but cost more mana. They do not depend on your magic attack power for their intensity. And then we come to the magic book. You may slot spells on your book and it will not cost command points. But each spell slotted will make your magic attack weaker. That's kind of interesting, actually. Thanks for the warning. Lastly, you may consult the file containing all the area intel or chicken out and go back to the main map. Oh, and I almost forgot, you can equip whatever gloves or claws you want to bring as well here. Imagine using gloves to fight demons. Are we done here? Growing some fangs, are we? Nothing has changed in the last 20 years. You better stop running that mouth of yours unless you want me to shut it for you. I guess it's time to select a mission from my available tasks. So it's interesting that they don't let the player like explore their new accommodations, which is basically the menu. Instead, they just want to throw you right into selecting a mission, which I... Okay, so... that's a weird way of handling that. So, how do I... I guess I can't go back. It's just going to force me into selecting a mission. Yeah, that sucks. What if I wanted to look around, slot some skills or whatever he was talking about? Instead it just throws me in here. Like, I really don't think... You should never really just introduce something new. You should never just introduce something new and then don't even give a chance for players to explore it. I really feel like there's very few times in a game where that feels okay to do. If you're going to introduce something new, you should really give time for your players to explore those features instead of sweeping them away from it. Remaining command points, 10. Okay, I guess I am here? Okay, I still kind of stand by what I said, just because I really feel like the player should have found that thing by themselves. Like, I don't know, like they have the arrow here, right? I'm guessing that when I click that arrow, I'm going to start the mission. So, what it should have been, to me, is after the whole cutscene with the dame whatever lady after she introduces all this stuff, it should have just been here. And then if you clicked on the arrow, you know, the guy could say, oh, I need to select my mission first, or whatever, like that. So that way it gives time for the players to explore around and get familiar with what these things are and how they're used. Like, I guess these gloves are what I equip. And then first stone that allows you to use powerful fire magic. Having more than one has no extra benefits. How many do I have? Is there a way to check? I'm assuming no. I don't have anything equipped. Or any of those stones. Okay. I guess I'll consult the Oracle. Ooh, oof. One session costs 1 command point. No. I really feel like, also on that point, on that note, just so players can kind of understand what it means to consult the Oracle, I really feel like the first time should be free, just so that way they can get an idea of what it is that they're doing. Also, I have no idea how valuable these command points are. I have 10, so I assume they're pretty valuable, though I have no idea. Do that. So now I've spent one of my command points. And this is... Why does this have a different font than the other ones? This is... I don't like the way that they've handled this. I'm pretty sure there's some plugins or something that allow you to, like, move an object with your cursor, like to use your cursor to activate events. In fact, there has to be, because I've played like point and click MV games, so it's got to exist somewhere. Because this thing, this is like the worst of. This is like with Destiny, and it uses a cursor to like control the menus, and it doesn't matter whether you're on mouse or controller, like you're stuck with a cursor. And this feels like when you're on the controller trying to control the menus in Destiny using a controller. You know, it's just it feels clunky, and it feels just this feels like a hack. Like the guy didn't know how to add more menus. To be fair, I don't know how to either, but that's not an excuse really when it comes to game development. I'm not making a game that's menu driven, so I don't really need to learn how to generate more menus. If you're making a game that's very menu driven, I would suggest looking into how to add, how to draw new menus. I know there is a way. I've stumbled across a tutorial for it some time ago. It didn't help me for what I was looking for at the time. It was just like an accident. I stumbled into it, but it's like using Pixie to draw new windows. It's possible just through scripting itself, not necessarily using plugins, though plugins will probably make it easier. So anyways, let's just go ahead and I'm just gonna spend like all my points, because who cares. I'll do that. Do I need to equip it? Probably. So... Okay, it's there. And, I'll just spend the rest of the command points here, because the thing is that, I'm probably not gonna play this again. So, we'll just spend all the points and then just go on the mission. Pasadon's Retreat outside the port town. So this is Pasadon's Retreat, huh? I have never been here before. What was that splashing noise? It's coming from the town. I must investigate. Filthy landlings, you dare defy the son of Pasadon? Hey, pick on someone your own size. We'll just... Oh, it's sorcery. So what is magic? No problem, Fortuna. Thanks for joining. Let me know. I don't know. I don't have any engagement challenges. My whole rant at the beginning was my engagement challenge. People can argue with me there. So, yeah, just take care of yourself. That's all I got. So is my attack not effective? Or... Okay, it's not effective. Are you hurt? I'm fine, thank you, sir. You saved me from the terrible fate. What the heck is going on here? The Atlanteans. Servants of Lord Pasadon have turned hostile. They attack us every week, so they are not generally like this. Not at all. They have always protected us from evils unlike ours, so-called allies at the church. Oh my, you saved me and I did not even bother to ask who you are and what brings you here. My name is Gerald Ventures. I'm here to investigate the problem in this area on behalf of the church. Oh. You better speak to our mayor then. Lead the way. So this is the young man who saved you. I will speak with him alone. Leave us. Yes, sir. So you are from the church. What rank do you currently hold? Battle monk, sir. Sigh, 1 battle monk. Forgive me if I feel like that will not be enough. What exactly are you guys dealing with? Something has made Prince Trenton, the son of our god Pasadon, extremely furious with us. Every week, Atlanteans come here and cause mindless destruction. They make no demands and accept no tribute, and Pasadon is silent in all of this? I'm afraid so. He does not answer our prayers. Our economy is in shambles. That is terrible. Many of our ships have been destroyed at sea. A few sailors that survived have reported that Prince Trenton himself comes to sink our ships. Strangely enough, he only seems to target ships with the symbol of our city on it. I'm sure you face no problems in your journey here. Come to think of it, you're right. I don't like this prince guy very much. So what are you planning to do about it? I'm going to confront this guy and kick his teeth down his throat if I have to. Confronting a demigod in his own element. You'll be playing with fire. More like water. What? Nothing. Normally I would try to stop such a suicidal mission, but in your case, I feel like you might be able to make a difference. You didn't feel that a while ago. Anyways, can I get a ship? I want to have a chat with Mr. Prince. Sure, why not? Be my guest. The mayor gives you a surprisingly large ship and a capable crew. Could it be that he does have faith in you? The ship seems to have a strange magical aura about it, as if it's connected to your life force somehow. Silly thoughts, you think. Crewmates are nervous because of all the shipwrecks recently, yet they sail on with you. So it seems interesting that, like, I don't know if this is how it's going to go for all of the different missions, but if it is this way, it kind of feels like from this one alone, like the mission is like its own scenario with its own situation that you're there to solve. I kind of like that idea. It's interesting. It sort of feels like it might not be very well fleshed out, like it's going to be pretty quick to finish, which is unfortunate. It'd be nice if each one was like its own involved episode, and you would just kind of go episode to episode, solving different problems around the map. I think that would be kind of interesting, and I think it'd kind of give some replay value in the sense that you could at least select which episode you want to start with. Welcome back. We're actually on to playing games now. We're playing, this game. Is it Gerald Quest? I don't remember what it's called. But we're almost out of time. I think how much is on there? 7 minutes. I don't know. There's some interesting ideas. I think the art to me looks terrible. But there's good ideas in here. Suddenly you hear a faint but beautiful sound. Everyone on board suddenly has an urge to follow it. Will you tell the crew to follow the sound? No. As you continue on your journey to find or be found by Trenton, you realize that the way forward will be very hard to navigate due to the rocks in the way. What are they exactly, these random rocks in the middle of the water? Your crew points out that there are 2 ways to proceed. You could try to force your way through the rocks by finding the place where their destiny is the lowest. Wait, I'm sorry, what? You could try forcing your way through the rocks by finding the place where their density, sorry, that's what I'd read that wrong. Density is the lowest and advancing. Or you could sail into the nearby whirlpool. The crew tells you that the people of Phantasm's retreat have used whirlpools regularly since the city was founded. They have been a safe and fast method of travel, but this was possible due to Phantasm's divine favor. But even with the attacks, some sailors report no problems using the whirlpools, while others are reluctant. We'll just go through the rocks. You get a feeling that you are being watched. An immense feeling of dread overcomes your mind for a moment before you regain your composure. There is no doubt. Are you ready to face Trenton? Oh, let me use some items, I guess. There we go. Sure, I'll save too. Why not? You hear a commanding voice in your mind. Human from JC's church. Turn back. I'll let you leave with your life intact. Trenton, I presume. Listen, I will not leave until I can get you to stop terrorizing the people. I am in no mood for a confrontation with your church. Not yet. How about we make a deal? What sort of deal? Leave now and I will spare these people for a few months. You'll get to keep your glory and your life. Truly a divine gift. And if I refuse, then I, Trenton, Sea Prince, will crush you like the insect you are and face the full might of the church. What do? I do not want to face him, but taking his deal would be cowardly and corrupt. I want to take the deal. You're wise not to invoke the wrath of a god. There was no way I could have beaten him. At least people are safe for the time. That's good, right? Very well, I'll leave these insolent fools alone. You have returned! Yes, and I bring good news. Oh, really? I can say with confidence that the sea folk will not be bothering you any longer. That's great to hear. We have received reports that the attacks on our town have You have my thanks. You got some text problems going on here. Don't mention it, but I have to wonder, were you able to... Why exactly Lord Trenton brought his wrath... Not really. Our interaction was very short. I do not want to question the effectiveness of your hard work, but it is most worrying, especially since Lord Phantasm is still silent. But thank you for risking your life for us. I will be sure to write a favorable report about you. Thank you. I must take my leave then. Goodbye. Farewell. So you are not the one either. I, Trenton, to try again. Right on. Yeah, there are some interesting ideas in this game, but yeah, I'm kind of feeling like I'm over it now. Really wish that timer would go off. How much is left? 3 minutes? I don't know. Let's go to Dungabunga. Dungabunga Mountains. Okay, never mind. Head to Blitwood. Okay, never mind. Lapier. Okay, so I'm assuming the way that this game is set up is that it's not a pick your own adventure. You don't get to pick which place you're going to. It just seems like you are going to follow a linear path through these levels. And I don't really know what the point of this map is anymore, if that's the case. Yeah, okay. Yeah. What's the fucking point of the map then? Like, just like, I don't know, make it automatic. Like, you can just show the map and then just have it automatically play the little arrow hitting the target thing. Just show that and call it good. You know, why make the player like have to select the place? Can I go here? Nope. Yeah, so it really is. I started here. I coincidentally picked the first mission. Man, that kind of ruins that. That's so disappointing. See, I thought this was like you get to pick your mission, and you could basically pick them in any order. I thought this was just like you are some guy who's going to solve problems all over the map. And just pick which one you want to solve first. And then you just have like these little episodes that you'd go through. But it seems... Oh, okay, alright, I can start here. Cool. Alright. So interesting. It resets the... I think it resets... yeah, it resets the player every time you go back to your hub world. I think the 2-day-long argument whether or not my review of this first-time dev was valid or not finally ended just now. Nice to know. It's not that... We're talking about someone different, right? Did you review someone else's game? Or are you talking about this game? Are you giving me a heads up that this dev is gonna harass me for the next few days? Because honestly, I don't feel like dealing with that. I'll probably just ignore the message if he sends me a message. I mean, I hope you're not talking about this dev, because I talked with him before playing the game. And, he seemed like a chill guy. But, I mean, our conversation was admittedly very brief, so it's not really a lot to go off of. We're going to some swamp, so I don't know. Oh, okay. Oh, thank God. Okay, the timer's up. Alright, there we go. Okay. Yeah, I was referring to the mention I did before leaving for the... Yeah, I thought you're talking about that, but I don't know who it was. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even know you actually did your own streams. I'm curious, are streams or video? I don't know what it is, whether it's a stream or a video. It doesn't matter. I didn't know you had a presence on YouTube, I guess I should say, which I'm curious to know, and I'll probably go check out your stuff after I'm done here. Yeah, I don't know. It'll probably be pretty late by the time I'm done here. I'll probably check you out tomorrow then. So I have no idea what you did last time. So I don't know who you're referring to, if you're referring to this dev or someone else. About this developer, though, yeah, there's some interesting ideas that I think are executed poorly, and the art is absolutely heinous, in my opinion. So I think it's interesting having like a certain allocation of points that you just like set up. Like, you use those points to, like, set yourself up. You equip different skills or whatever before the mission, and then you go into the mission. And then the mission itself is kind of like a short episode. I feel like it should be expanded. Like, you know, like the first one that I did was, like, you go into this town, and it's being attacked by people from Atlantis or whatever. And so, like, I feel like there could be a whole story there. And I feel like it should be, like, its own, like, I don't know, 1 hour or 2 hour long little story, and each one of those missions should be its own like self-contained story, and you're basically just going, each mission is its own episode that's just like 1 hour or 2 hours long. with its own arc. I think that would be kind of cool, especially for an RPG Maker game. I think just having 5 of those would be more than enough, and then maybe you could have a final act or something. So I think that, especially the way that it's handled, it feels like it's fairly. You're not really making levels because all of it's just handled through like cinematics and menus and stuff like that. So I feel like that wouldn't be too difficult to develop. And I think that would be more interesting than the disappointment I found out about the map, which was that it is the map is pretty much locked off. You don't really actually get any choice. There's just an illusion of choice there. Let's see. You said on Twitch mostly. I store my streams on YouTube, but yeah, I never shared it on the forum, really. I just feel it fits the topic of devs stop doing. I just feel it fits the... Yeah. I mean, that's mostly how a lot of these streams go. I'm usually pretty brutal. I've had a few people who... There was one person, I'm not going to name what game or who they are, but there was one person that I had that, despite them saying in their message that, oh, we're not mad at you at all, and we're really glad you streamed it, and then went off on like a 5-paragraph rant that was very accusatory. So it's kind of like, yeah, your words say you're not angry, but it reads like you're angry, because there's a lot of like, they were very, very defensive. So yeah, I've had my fair share of devs getting upset with me. That wasn't the only one. There's another one. There's a smaller one. I don't even remember. Most of the time, these, I haven't had any real problems so far from doing it. But, occasionally, I guess, devs, they're not used to having the criticism. I don't know. I guess, I don't know. I guess it comes down to what I was talking about, Insular stuff. You have devs who just make the game that they want to make as a hobby, but they don't really see it as I think they don't even realize that they're making it as a hobby. They just have such a bigger ambition for their game that they don't even realize that really it's just kind of a hobby. First things first, we reviewers take the effort and time of our day to play your little game. Appreciate it. It's not that hard. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. What about this game? I don't know. There are some cool ideas. Like I said, I like the allocation of stats that you get to spend before each mission. I wish each mission was an episode. I think that's all I have to say about that. There's some cool ideas. The art is heinous. I hope they change the art. Or at least make it more consistent. Let's move on to the next game. Also, I need to change the thing down at the bottom. It still says Autumn Coffee. I will never remember. There's never going to be a stream where I actually remember to change that. I think next is going to be Gears of Phantasm. On the note of people that are appreciative, let's bring up Gears of Phantasm. Bring up their store page. So Gears of Phantasm is actually on Steam. Here's the link. Put it there. There we are. So on the note of devs that appreciate us taking the time to play the game, this is actually going to be the third time I've played this game. I've only played the game once on stream. When I made my video, RPG Maker has a terrible reputation, a few months back. Wow, how many months has it been? It's probably been like 4 months at this point now since I made that. Time flies. Anyways, the developer heads told me about his game, and I played it just personally. I didn't stream it. At that time, I wasn't streaming other people's games. And I left a review, mostly out of sympathy, I'm going to be honest. Because he seemed pretty distraught over the fact that he released the game and only had negative reviews on it. I also didn't want to recommend it. It was hard for me to give the recommend button, but I just kind of felt kind of sorry for the guy that, yeah, the only reviews he had were not recommends, and so fuck it, and I just threw a positive recommendation, but there was a lot of flaws with the game. And it's funny that I mentioned that because so I played the game on stream a month later, and a lot of the problems were still kind of present. So he did this weird thing that I don't like. It's definitely not something that I would recommend to any dev, where he made like the early access beta like free to play, but there was like a I don't know, like a DLC that like was basically all the updates to the game. Like I don't understand how it worked. It was weird. It was confusing, and basically that's how he was trying to earn money from it. It's like free to the demo was. I really yeah, that's what it was. It was like a demo. Yeah, and it's a commercial game. Yeah. So it was basically like there was a demo that was for free. So a rough translation from yen to dollars is yen doesn't use decimal points. So if you just move the decimal from behind the zero forward 2 spaces, it'd be about 520. That's not completely accurate because the exchange rate between yen and dollar is not one to one. It's not 100 yen for $1. It's like actually the yen has dropped in value recently, although then it went back up. I don't know. I haven't checked the yen's value in a little bit, but for a time it had dropped down to like 70 yen or one. What am I trying to say? It was like 140 yen. Is that what I'm trying to say? Yeah, 140 yen for every dollar, I think. Something like that. Anyways, point is, it's not an exact one-to-one translation, but for a quick, just like back of the napkin kind of translation, it's $5.20. We'll just say $5. Yeah, he had this weird thing with the demo being free, but then you actually buy a DLC to get access to the game. It's really confusing. He's clearly changed that now, which I'm glad to see. Yeah, it's yeah, well, so I will say this. So when I had actually last time I played it, I didn't really get to play through it very much because unfortunately he'd pushed out a patch that soft locked the game. So and it was pretty early in the game. And that was the patch that I had played on stream. So basically I played 10 minutes, hit the soft lock, and I was like, well, buddy, sorry. Too bad. That's going to be the end of that. But I felt bad because, once again, he's just been getting beat up on with this game. But he's fucking determined. I'll give him that. Now, considering I've already played the beginning of this game once on one of my streams a while back, I decided I'm going to play this game again. I told him that I would give it one last try because his game crashed. Or technically it wasn't crashed, but it was a soft lock. So I told him I'm going to give him one last try. And before launching this stream, I decided to at least play through the intro so we're not watching the same thing again. And actually, I was impressed. I'm going to go over some of the changes that I saw personally that I thought were good improvements over what I had played a while back. So if there's anything to be said about this dev, I really respect the fact that he really he works his ass off to try to make this game work. I still don't know if it's worth the price as a commercial product. That's a different story. Yeah, he gave me a Steam key for free. I didn't pay for it. So one thing that I will say is annoying is that I've already set the options. I set the options for it not to be full screen because it's a VX Ace game. And the unfortunate thing about VX Ace is that it just doesn't like dual monitor setups at all. It like moves everything around on my screen. Like VX Ace has to be the only thing on my main monitor, and then everything else gets stuffed over. And it also minimizes OBS, so I can't see my chat. So let me load into the game so I can set the settings again. So that's a problem. There. Okay. Now we have it back. So, damn it. Can I go? How about that? Okay, there we go. All right, cool. Now we're back here. Oh yeah, see, it's messed up my timer too, because it moved everything around. Which, by the way, we should start that. Yeah, so one thing I do have to say, so like the whole menu here has been improved. You could still kind of see it when I was in the game before. The whole menu, like, he used to do this really weird naming scheme that was nothing short of confusing, where you'd have like joining act, opening act, and like closing act, and it, like, those names for these menu items didn't mean anything to the player. It was just confusing. So I'm glad to see that he's gone ahead and changed it to be normal names, although there's load save is all one word. It should be 2 words, so you know, it's not perfect, but at least now I can understand what the options are. So that's one improvement. I'm already happy to see that he took my feedback and understood that it's confusing to have the whole opening, joining, closing act thing. You can still see remnants of it though. He didn't do a completely good job of purging it, because if I go to system, you can still see he's still using those terms here: joining act, opening act, closing act, support cast, which is still the confusing terms that don't mean anything. I guess at least fortunately here in the menu you have the information up at the top, so at least you kind of have an idea of what it does, unlike in the main menu where you have no idea what any of those are. So, yeah, it uses an interesting, like, gear system, I guess. So I think this is also kind of new, where, like, your regular gear will break after a while, or it'll degrade, I should say. The quality degrades over time with regular use. But you also have your, like, starter gear, which levels up. So it's kind of weird. I don't know why you wouldn't just use your starting gear if eventually it will level up. I'm guessing the purpose of this is so that if you're, like, out in exploring somewhere and all of your gear is completely busted, you can just equip your starting gear, which I think the intention is hopefully that your starting gear is not as good as your degraded gear, but it's better than, at least you have some quality, like it's usable. Like your degraded gear needs to be repaired, you can't go back to repair it, so you'll just have to fall back on your starting gear. I think that's the idea there. I'm not sure. I haven't even progressed far enough. I just got through all the intro stuff. Some other things that I will mention that they've improved is the whole intro sequence. Used to not make any sense. You just have, like, a bad guy come in and media res and just be like, "Ah ha ha! I stole all of your gear and power. What will you do now?" And then everyone just acts like everything's normal. It still kind of does that, but at least the story that flows afterwards kind of makes more sense. Also, they do this thing where, like, they mentioned this box up here at the top, which before they, like, drew your attention to it. Like, as soon as you appear, like, this knight or whatever tells you, "Hey, there's that box up there with a bunch of supplies. You should go get it." And then the game is quickly like, "You can't get that right now." And it's kind of like, why did you bring that up? He changed some of the language where it's still kind of weird that he brings up the box, but it doesn't seem as jarring. I don't know. There's small improvements, but I'm seeing improvements, you know? And I'm just glad to see that. Basically, he's taking the feedback that's been given, and I'm seeing it put into place to improve the game. And I think that's the right kind of mindset to have around game development. Is when you get the feedback, as you and I were just talking about, don't sit there and get defensive about why this is or why that is. Don't sit there trying to explain yourself, because that's not doing anyone any good. I had this problem, so take responsibility for that problem. You know, that doesn't mean that you should just kowtow to every single problem that people have. it's also on you to figure out whether it's worth making the change or not. But at the same time, take that time to consider whether that change needs to be made, rather than arguing with them. My lords, yeah, it's awesome to see devs implementing feedback. Yeah, absolutely. I really, like, I don't know if this game is really worth the commercial price. There's a debate that could be around the value for it. I'm glad that they've made the price a little less confusing. So, I lost my train of thought. I'm just gonna get the drink. I don't know. He's working hard to improve the game. I don't know if it's worth it, but I am at least glad to see him making improvements. Oh, that's the other thing. Oh, I completely forgot. Okay, so I totally forgot this point. This was a huge improvement over my first experience with the game. When you get the new equipment, I was trying to explain that whole idea with the like degrading equipment, but your starter equipment gets better. That whole concept was so poorly explained in my original playthrough of this game. It also was even more confusing because my starting equipment stats were better than the first set of regular equipment that was given. So it's like, why would I change if my regular equipment, or if my starting equipment will level up and it has better stats than the given equipment that will degrade over time? Why would I ever change that? First of all, he's fixed that now. Your starting equipment has worse stats than your first set of given equipment that you get. And also, he implemented a whole tutorial that explains how all this works in not a lot of depth, but at least kind of gives me an idea of what the fuck is going on. So I kind of understood things a little bit better. Like, one of the other problems I had was, like, right at the beginning, it takes you over to, like, this storage chest and says, here, you can store things. And I was like, but why should I? But why? Why should I store things? And that was it. It just said, you store things here. And it's like, okay, cool. In the tutorial, they actually explain, oh, by the way, you have a weight limit. Which the weight limit is not very obvious, so I'm glad they put the tutorial there to say you do have a weight limit. I don't know if it was there originally. Before, now there is like a number that says your current weight, like you have 0 out of 20 or whatever. Now that's there. I don't remember that being there before, so I think that got added in as well. So, again, more props to the devs for taking feedback. I mentioned that, I just had no fucking clue what was going on. I didn't understand any of the stuff that was being explained. And he's implemented great tutorials that explain stuff a lot better. You may craft items and equipment from this menu. Recipes for items, weapons, armors are used here. However, talents require different tools and kits. Recipes can be hidden until recipe book is used. It's weird that it's put in parentheses like that, but alright. Most items don't require recipes, only ingredients. You'll also need to unequip your weapon. What? That's weird. Okay. There's some weird kind of jank like that. Like, if you want to craft, you need to unequip your stuff. Strip naked so you can do some crafting. That's like every time before you cook dinner, you take off all your clothes. It doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that? I think OSHA would have a real problem with that. Anytime that you're gonna fucking like construct a building, or anytime you're gonna fucking go to the factory and make something, you have to take off all of your stuff, take off all the safety equipment, take off all the clothes, make sure that you are working in that factory 100% naked. You may craft items and equipment from the menu. Okay, upgrades. Most normal weapons can be upgraded +1 or higher. Some, like armor, are forged into better versions. All these normal equipment will still be damaged. Repairs won't bring plus number back to full power either. Is it possible to get my game review? Yeah, absolutely. No problem. If it's a commercial game, sorry, I don't really have funds to buy any of the games that I play. So if it's commercial, you're going to have to give me a Steam code or whatever. If it's free, then just send me a link and I will play it next time I do one of these streams. If it's available. I don't know if you're finished with it. We should investigate that light. Let's search the northwest tower. Oh, okay. Wow, it just teleported me here. You there, humans or elves. You there, humans or elves. Maybe dwarves. You all look the same, and my eyes aren't that good these days. I digress. Closer. Come follow me down below to the ruins. I also think the quest log thing is new. Yeah, I know, but it is common. I do think it's a common courtesy. I would do it, but also it's kind of strange too for someone. I think there's. Isn't it a rule on the RPG Maker forums that you're not supposed to request keys? I'm not on the forums right now. Obviously, this is on my YouTube channel, so I don't give a shit. But actually, I don't know. I haven't actually set up a Steam developer account yet. I probably should. I've heard it takes a while to get everything approved. But yeah, I have a itch account as well. Quickest way to it is just click the link to my previous shitty game. My own shitty game is linked down below, and that'll just take you right to my itch page. You'll find my shitty RPG Maker game and my shitty Unity game there. The RPG Maker game is shitty, but arguably better than the Unity game. My kinfolk live underground. They mostly don't take too kindly to visitors. The young goblins aren't that dangerous. A few good whacks, and they normally scamper off back into their burrows. Please go bring this to the Goblin Chief. You can find them deeper within the ruins. The back sewer level isn't too far within. You're not requesting key. I'm asking you if you take out the time of your day to... Yeah, I got it, man. I got it. I mean, it's kind of like requesting a key, though, just because I'm saying... I don't know. Never mind. Just ignore me. I got you. Aqueducts, explore at your own risk. Be aware, cave rats and mischief goblins. Okie doke. Battle tips. For combat encounters, press a button after melee command. If timed right, you'll strike twice. Double mode uses it automatically. Okay, I'm in double mode because I'm calling that reviewer mode. I'm not going to sit here and... Last time, I'm glad he put in the double mode that does it automatically, though I'd be interested to see if he cleaned up the timing on it, because when I first played this game, the combat was so busted, I could not figure out this timing thing. Like, I think it's supposed to be kind of like the Paper Mario or Mario RPG kind of thing, where like you take an action, but then there's like this timing circle that moves in, and I think if you time it just right, then you do bonus damage, just like, you know, in the Mario RPGs. But the feedback on it was so poor that I had no idea if I was executing it properly. I'd be interested to know if they've cleaned up the timing and the feedback on it, or not. But I'm in double mode now, so apparently it's going to do that automatically. No, you can't, but you could just send me a private message on the RPG Maker forums, or there's also my Discord if you use Discord. That link you to my Discord page. But it's I'm the AM doll on the RPG Maker forums. I see you around. I recognize your goblin face. Sounds like I'm insulting you. I recognize your goblin ass face. Yeah, I know you recently posted on the same thread where I talked with the guy was asking about look at making his market. On if you want to find you found my post the status post on our just click the status post. Limit breaks will build up your fights and unleash the powerful combo skill. Guard gains 5% of your health and mana. It'll also block half damage up to 90%. Just a little practice to gauge how well our equipment... Okay, so this is good. I also think originally there was not even a battle tutorial. You just hopped in the level and you were on your own. Which is another reason why... Yeah, oh, Orc. Sorry. Oh, see, then I was insulting you. I was just calling you a goblin face. Yeah, I think that was another reason why last time I had played this game, the feedback was so poor, is because there wasn't even a tutorial to explain how shit works. It was just kind of like, yo, fight stuff. Good luck. So I'm pretty sure this tutorial is new, and I'm glad to see it, because if they're going to do something weird with the combat, an explanation is going to make things a lot easier. I gotta refresh my drink first, though. Oh, okay, so it's ATB. Still a bit rusty, but could be worse. So one thing I will say is the tutorial was so easy that I didn't really need to engage with it very much. So I didn't really learn anything from it. I think, like in my tutorial, I paused the fight a couple of times to like explain stuff. Like, you know, at the start of the fight, it's like, hey, welcome to the tutorial. Let's start off simple. Here's your basic attack command. Here's how the magic system in my game works. Just play around for a few turns, have fun, see how the magic system works. After they play around with that for a little bit, I pause the fight, come back in and say, hey, now that you know how the magic system works, let's use magic skills and see how that affects the enemies. And I also ask the player if they want to read the tutorial anyway. So the player can say, nah, I'm not interested, and they can just, you know, finish the tutorial without reading it, so they just get on with the game quicker. Or if they want to know how things work, they can say, yeah, I want to know, and then the game will explain how the elements and combat system works in my game a little bit further. So yeah. Yeah, so here's the other thing with the double mode. I'm glad it's here because, like I said, it's basically the reviewer's game mode. I don't have to worry about trying to figure out the timing thing. But on the other hand, it kind of reminds me of like Bayonetta and Devil May Cry's easy mode, where it makes the game so easy the players really can't even learn how to play the game well, because like Bayonetta's easy mode does all the combos for you. All you have to do is just push the attack button. So because it basically plays the game for you as long as you're pushing a button. When you move up to the next difficulty, the player hasn't really learned how to engage with the systems. So I think that's the problem with this double mode, is that it doesn't give players a chance to like learn how to do the timing attack things. And so if they wanted to replay the game again, I don't know why they would. If they wanted to replay the game again on the normal difficulty, they would not be able to transfer that experience over. I really think that, in my opinion, the easy mode... Why is this guy so fucking tough? Holy shit. I really think, in my opinion, if you are going to offer a different difficulty mode, you should really offer like, it should change the window on the timing press. It should be more generous. It doesn't need to be completely done for you, but like if the window is just a few milliseconds in normal mode, then in easy mode it should just widen that just a little bit, like twice. See, I got wiped here last time as well. Yeah, okay, she's dead. I'm on easy mode and I'm getting wiped. But I don't feel like that's... Yeah. Dumb humans, leave here now. Okay. Sure will. It's interesting that it's... moved me somewhere else? Like there wasn't a death? It kind of reminds me of, oh god, what is that game called? Outwards? No. Is it? Outwards? Don't change that. Oops. Yeah, it is Outward. Yeah, okay, so it kind of reminds me of this game. So this is a pretty neat game. I should probably pause the timer if I want to talk about something else. If you haven't played Outward, I didn't beat it. It had some problems with like just keeping engagement, but there is something really cool that it does, and that's every death you have is like just it's made into being part of the story. To be fair, there's a limited number of events that can happen. So if you do die a lot, which I did in this game, you start seeing repeats of events. But I still think it was pretty cool. So basically, like if you die by bandits rather than dying and restarting. Oh yeah, okay, so cool, you played it. Yeah. So if you die by bandits, rather than just dying, game over, and restarting, instead you get captured by them, and now you're a prisoner of them, and you have to escape their camp. If you just die out in the middle of the wilderness, sometimes you might get saved by like some guardian or something, and you'll wake up in a mysterious cave somewhere, or sometimes some people will find your body on the side of the road, will pillage some of your stuff and leave you there, where you'll just wake up where you died, or maybe a few feet away. So the death mechanic is pretty cool. It's unfortunate that the number of possible events are fairly limited. The bandit one, as cool as it is, the experience the first time, really started getting on my nerves because there was one particular bandit camp I kept dying to, and it got really fucking annoying having to repeat the same, break out of the same bandit camp every goddamn time. I had to repeat it like 3 times and I got sick of it. So I think that's one of the flaws. It's the coolest part, but it's also one of the weaknesses to the game. So anyways, I wonder if this game does something similar, since I just kind of like the chance of not dying was really cool, but not expanded enough upon. I think I would have liked it if you had to actually escape bigger locations and stuff. Yeah, I agree and disagree for the very same reason, because like I was just saying, is there was a point in time where I had to escape the same bandit place like 3 times in a row because I was just bad at the game. And that's not really fun, repeating the same content over and over again. It stops feeling like an unscripted, like it stops feeling what was the buzzword that's used to that they would say about that is like a game development buzzword. Not immersion. God, what is it? Oh, this is gonna kill me. Oh my god, this is gonna kill me. It's gonna haunt me for the rest of the night if I can't fucking think of this word. Well, if it repeats all the time, this would be... yeah. Anyways, whatever the word is that's gonna kill me, it starts to feel like it's just software and not immersion. That's not the buzzword I'm looking for, but it's not immersive either way. Whether it's not the buzzword, but either way, that's that. So yeah, if I think they would need to implement some sort of like check, just to make sure like oh, the player just died from this exact same event. Maybe we should put it on a cooldown and let a different event happen. Suspension of disbelief? No. Wow, I'm left with 1 health? What the fuck? Well, I think I'm dead. Again. Yep. Well, I would like to leave, but you left me with 1 health. Can I sleep in that bed? It's like, I feel like it starts with an I. Something gameplay. Emergent! Emergent gameplay! There it is! There it is! Emergent gameplay! Oh, I guess I'm just... Oh, okay. Well, I'm not ready. Just kill me. Emergent gameplay. So yeah, it feels when you just die and you go into and like the game over is you being taken in by the bandits. It feels like emergent gameplay, but when it keeps happening over and over, it doesn't feel so emergent anymore. It said quest completed, but with a question mark. So. Oh, okay. Food granting stamina heals me in real time. Okay, alright, so I should have eaten that bread. Emergent. Emergent is with a... I think it's with an E. Emergent. And, oh, okay. Alright, fair enough. Oh, won't let me use the bread. Okay. Oh, maybe the bandage? No. I mean, why? Maybe that's what that heart is? So does that mean I just need to, like, pace around in circles? Oh, I picked up a pickaxe somehow. Do I just need to pace around in circles while I heal? Yep, seems like it. Can't eat bread. Literally unplayable. I don't know about that one, man. Okay, raise your defense. I guess so. There's like a lot of states and statuses. It would be... Oh, okay. I don't... Anyways, it'd be great if there was like a better explanation on that. Maybe there is. I need to check the menu. See if there's maybe like a bestiary or whatever in there. I feel like there's an overly complex game in here. That's not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. That's very unforgiving towards new players. Which is unfortunate because every player that's going to play this game is going to be a new player. So, take some notes out of, like, you know, online games and start building an onboarding process for your players. I really can't do anything except guard, I guess. The little box that... Okay, well, that guy's dead. The little box that appears around the currently active player is also... I feel like it's not enough information. Yeah, I'll agree with that. Even my own game just has the breathing effect. Oh. Oh, this is where I died. Like he was just right in there. So I guess I don't need to be here? How much time is left on the clock? 6 minutes? Yeah. See, here's the problem with having complex games. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's really hard for new players to wrap their head around it, around all the states and all that stuff. I'm guessing that's what's happening. There's like half block and bleed and all sorts of stuff. Should have chosen easy. I'm on easy. Don't you give me that shit, Fortuna. I'm playing on easy. It's always ironic to me considering how many RM devs are gamers. You'd think they'd know what makes a good game, but that's absolutely not true. Yeah, well, and this is what I was saying during my rant, is that I feel like not enough RPG Maker devs play enough games, or they don't play enough games and actually like consider what makes those games that they enjoy good. That was weird. There's a weird pause there. That makes me think they're like doing some sort of... Should have chosen baby difficulty. There's no baby difficulty, unfortunately. Did they do some sort of weird like linking map kind of thing? Oh, the grass is animated too. That's kind of cool. It's very subtle. Probably an event, yeah. I guess so. Oh. Okay. I just killed the rabbit. I didn't mean to, little bunny. I'm sorry about that. Event stop the player without plugins. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. I just thought maybe they had some cool trick to make the map like really big. I don't know, like some sort of weird like transition effect where they might have like had like a parallax of the next map over here, and then when you step on the transfer event, it doesn't like black out the screen, but instead just kind of quickly loads the next map. So I don't know, that's what I thought, is maybe it's just like a trick to make the map seem larger than it really is. When I get to hate... Yeah, well, I mean, that's the question. All the people who join these, myself included, I guess, even as the host, when does my own game release? When does Fortuna's game release? When do we get to hate on each other's games and make enemies out of each other? Glowing light heals your wounds. Let's go up here. At this point, I'm just kind of screwing around. Oh, there's even like a little trail in the water. There's some nice touches and detail. There's a little trail of water behind you, and it sounds like it's really low in my headphones, but yeah, there's a little step sound as well. Actually, it's kind of funny looking at this animated grass. It almost kind of seems like they might have... I know how they did it. They're just using the A tile set. But it almost... The way that it's animated almost seems like they just took, like, some water and just put a green filter on it. I'm not saying there's anything bad. I mean, it's kind of neat, actually, that it's animated. But at the same time, it's kind of funny because now I can't unsee the fact that it just looks like green water. Oh, there's an NPC over here. Oh, and there's some apples too. Hi, I'm Bonetta. Do you like the hairdress? It's quite fashionable and starting to trend. Okay, that was worthwhile. The captain has us spread out really thin. How much time is left? 2 minutes. Oh my god. Sure, wartime's over, but this still isn't right. How am I supposed to repel attackers by myself without proper support personnel? Okay, there's nothing in there. Did I go this way? Ah, the window's too small. Oh, okay. I have this set up. I should have done this from the very beginning. I have it set up that... Yeah, there we go. I should have done that from when I started the game, but then you wouldn't get to see my face if I had done that from that. You wouldn't get to see my greasy face. My greasy balding face. And I know everyone wants that. The animated grass is still here, so you can still see it. Oh, I guess there's an event here. Being paraded around as grandiose heroes for slaying low-ranked demons isn't exactly graceful. Delos, we're royal knights. Try to show more decor in front of the 2 ruling court lords standing beside us. Talk about a blind spot. Damn it, Zaros. Couldn't have warned me a bit sooner. You always like this. Sorry, that was my bad. You're always like this. It's a wonder how either of us are still alive. Great. Now we look like morons. If you say so. Doesn't seem like you needed any help with that. Plus, it was hilarious. Alright, that was an event. I'm ever vigilant, yet something evil nears. I don't know, it's so subtle. I kind of... Yeah, I don't know. I think... I don't know what my thoughts are on that. I kind of don't care. Alright, and we're done. No, I pushed... Stop it. Okay, there. Cool! Yeah. So, I'm glad I finally got a chance to actually make it further into his game. So... Like I said before, what I really appreciate about the game the most is that it's the developer himself. He's taken feedback and he's fixed his game. He listens to feedback and he improves his game. I really think compared to a lot of developers that I have personally reviewed their games, he stands out among a lot of them. Because he actually listens to what people are saying and does it. It's 35 minutes. And I give a generous 20 seconds in there because it might take me time to launch the game or go through options or whatever. So it's 35 minutes and 20 seconds. And I guess it's more of a first impressions kind of thing, really. Normally I don't play previous games. Like I said, with Gears of Phantasm, I guess I kind of have a history with this guy. I have a lot of respect for him. So, you know, I played this game 3 times. That's an exception. That's not gonna be a normal thing, I should say. So, yeah. And for sure, that's gonna be my last time playing this game. Really thankful to the dev for giving me a key. And like I said, I applaud his efforts, his continued efforts in improving the game. I think just today or yesterday it got a patch. He's been pushing out patches quite regularly for the game. So he does update it quite frequently. So it's definitely something that he cares about. But there could be an interesting game in there. I think for the easier difficulty, rather than just doing the timed attack system for the player, instead of doing it, I really think it'd be better if they just widen the window for making the attack okay. That way players can get used to timing the attack. So if they ever do step up to a higher difficulty, they are still kind of familiar with the mechanic and how it works. That said, considering how difficult it was, even on easy mode, I really think there's some balancing problems there. And that balancing problem could just come down to a lack of information for the player. But also, I feel like there's a lot of states and a lot of different stuff that's happening in each fight that the player is not made aware of. And I really don't recommend having tutorials dumped all at once to explain all of this stuff. Generally, most games kind of build these concepts up in steps. They introduce one thing before introducing you to another thing. Rarely would they ever introduce you to more than two things at once. You get introduced to a few things in bite sizes, let you kind of explore and learn that mechanic before introducing something else. So what I would really say is that the beginning is just way too hard. The beginning really should be an easy sort of walkthrough of all the different states and mechanics and whatever else they're using in this combat that makes it so challenging. But I've given this game a lot of my time at this point. So if that ever gets implemented, I don't know. My other opinion is at a certain point, you need to stop lingering on perfecting what you have. You know, one of the best things to do is just learn from your mistakes and just move on. You're going to do better next time. I think lingering on a project for infinity, like whenever people talk about working on a game for 7 years or 10 years, like I think one of the games I first heard this of, surprisingly was not an RPG Maker game, was Owlboy. Now, admittedly, the art is very beautiful. Like, this is pixel art, and it looks nice. But it sort of feels like spending 10 years to make this game, like, it doesn't feel like it was worth 10 years. Yeah, you gotta, at a certain point, you need to just say, this is good enough for this project. Next project, I'm going to do better. Introduce one thing, put the player into the situation, preferably in the actual story, where the player needs to put the thing into practical use. Repeat. Combine things over time. Yep, exactly like that. There's very few exceptions to that rule. There can be some exceptions, but especially when it comes to very nebulous concepts, like, you know, when you're just talking about effectively what is data that's being applied to enemies, just text and numbers and whatever, it's very hard to like grasp that kind of stuff. That's all just memorization. So that's really something that shouldn't just be, this is not one of those exceptions. So it really should just be something that, yeah, exactly as you explained. It should just be introduced in steps. So, anyways, that's gonna be the end of that game. I have one game left. Yeah, we did Autumn Coffee. We did Gerald Ventures. So yeah, one left. Brainless, the biggest idiot of all time. And what I'm going to do, I'm gonna bring up the store page. We're gonna take a short intermission here. Because I really need to pee. I've been drinking a lot. I've had how many cups? I think this is my third cup I'm working on right now. Brandy and Coke. So let's put some music on. Let's play my new level song. I played this last stream, but whatever. I want to play it this stream too. So I'm going to play this song while I go pee. Oh, the volume's really low. Pretty happy with the soundtrack. I say this every time, but I'm really proud of how well the soundtrack is coming together. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, and this is a German game. Actually, we're featuring another developer that I've featured before. I'm not playing his game for the second time. I'm playing another one of his games. I played his game. It was called A Swift's Life. This was quite a few streams ago. And despite me really not liking the game very much, he enjoyed my commentary quite a lot and had suggested that I try out some of his other games, considering he was such a good sport about things and seemed to enjoy it. And also, he has quite the portfolio of games behind him. I decided, why the hell not? I'll try out one of his other games. So, yeah, let's read about this game. So, yep, as you can see here, languages, German and English. Last time when I played Swift's Life, I had a little bit of trouble getting the game to stay in English. We'll see if we have that trouble this time. A brainless and humorous RPG where for once you don't play the shiny hero who saves the world. Instead, you take on the role of Horst. Name can be changed in-game. A standard idiot like everyone probably knows. We all know that one idiot, be it at work or somewhere else, who gets on our nerves every day with his idiotic babbling. His best friend is a woodlouse, whose language only he can understand. Of course, everyone else thinks he's an idiot who talks to a woodlouse, and who faithfully accompanies him on his travel. That's a lot of story. I'm not going to read it, except I see the use of emojis here, and I'm curious. By the way, there won't be any levels, or actually there will. Well, there will be, but they won't be called levels, but IQ, resulting in the fact that you can't accept quests XY unless you have an IQ of 10. Oh, yeah. Hey, you're the first person who actually reminds me. Because Fortuna refuses to remind me to do that. Ah. Let's see, I am one of the persons who made a really bad game on IGMC, so can you give me some tips, since you are really critic, knowing that what you will like will help me. Thank you. Well, don't make it just for me. I mean, I can give you some tips if you want. I can't give you, like, just direct tips off the top of my head, though. I mean, most of the tips come about from just playing games and seeing where things are going wrong. And by all means, I'm also not saying that I'm the end-all be-all. Also, yes, thank you, Mr. Orc. Simple Gaming. Fortuna is a creep and unhelpful for my stream. Fortuna has admitted that he does it on purpose. Or she, I don't know. Fortuna does it on purpose. I know that much. Oh, that is... Oh, an applause right out of the gate. An applause right out of the gate. Oh, they know that they have different people who have different native languages. So before the game even starts, it just says, yo, what language you want? Oh, it's so good. It's so good. More games need to do this. Not necessarily the language thing. I haven't played that many multi-language games. But what I have done is play games that don't even let you select options before the game starts. It just jumps you right into the game and doesn't even give you a chance to look at the options. This video game was created for one purpose. Oh, see? This is exactly what I was talking about earlier, too. Wow, we're going to end on a high note, I think. The very first RPG Maker game that we played, what was that? That was Gerald Ventures. It started off with scrolling text, and I had mentioned, don't do that. Instead, just create a PNG, render a PNG, and then add an invisible text box down at the bottom. You'll get a cursor blinking down at the bottom. That's okay. And then now players can progress the text at their own pace, but you can still use the fun formatting. Okay, thank you. I was about to write you about that. I was talking in general since I really need to improve my game making skills somehow. Making RM games multilingual seems such a pain. Yeah, it's kind of funny because, you know, I could easily get my game translated into Japanese, considering I live here. But just the thought of that sounds like such a nightmare. There's some people here that would love to play it, but they're not going to be able to. Or, I mean, they can, but first of all, my game's language, despite it being aimed at a younger demographic, it uses a lot of wordplay that I think is very grounded in native English speaking. You know, it's bilingual people who are from Western countries like Europe and stuff can probably still pick up on some of the humor in the wordplay, but I really think there's no chance for Japanese people to understand what the fuck is being talked about. Yeah, so I think it's just the people here are shit out of luck. I can't translate my game because of the language, and just working around RPG Maker's limitations, just it sounds like such a hassle between the translation and between the technical problems. It would just be impossible. Anyways, this video game was created for one purpose: to have fun. Terms used such as idiot, dumb, and such do not constitute a judgment and are not intended to be to label anyone as inferior. I don't want anyone to feel attacked by my game, and I don't want anyone to use my game to badmouth other people. Any similarities of the game characters to real people are purely coincidental. I do not tolerate discrimination of any kind at all, and do not want to promote such an attitude with the game. Please respect other people and be kind to them. Therefore, please do not overestimate the terms of the game and have fun playing. I'm not really known enough to warrant me making my games German as well. Just not worth it. Yeah. This is a nice intro too. There's some work done. The background animation is a little bit pixely, but that's alright. They got some nice little animations going on over here too. I feel like the up and down is a little bit sensitive. I don't know how you can even accomplish that. Actually, that does feel like... So if I... Is this... Oh, they changed the icon, so I don't even know. No, this looks like this is MV. Okay, so I'm pretty sure in MV, the standard behavior of the cursor in menus is that it stops when it reaches... Oh. It stops when it reaches the topmost item or the lowest most item. Hey, Leaf! Yeah, sure, Michael Primo. Yeah, thanks for joining. If you wanted to, like, get advice or whatever, you can just send me a message on the RPG Maker forums, and I'll get back to you whenever I have time. I can't promise a prompt response, but I will get back to you eventually. So if you want advice, then feel free to ask me there. Anyways, oh, timer. Also, Leaf, nice to have you here. Anyways, if I remember correctly, the default behavior for the cursor in MV is that it will stop at the topmost or bottommost item. So it does feel like they've changed the behavior of the cursor, which has resulted in... Oh, now it's not so... No, there we go. Now it's pretty sensitive. Let's go right into the options. Oh, this kind of looks like MV options, though. I am an idiot. I'm gonna leave it on. Autosave function, sync monitor FPS, full language. Okay, yeah. I think this is how the languages got confused last time I did played one of his games, is because the options didn't match a setting. So like the language is mismatched. Remember command, we'll turn that on. HUD lighting, light effects, weather. Right. Oh, nope, now it's gone. It's gone back. Okay, there we go. Alright. Well, then we'll just start. I was going to check the other things, but the sensitivity on the cursor is all sorts of weird. Playing this game can have a devastating effect on your emotional, physical, or psychological health. Are you ready to take this risk? Okay, or shut up and we'll use the meme. Shut up and take my money. If you experience any of the above problems, please contact me at the following address. There's some personality to this. I like the personality. Now the question is if Leaf is going to keep up the weird mannerisms through the whole time in chat, or if he's going to break character and just talk like a normal human being. Okay, the intro has gone on a little bit long. It'd be nice if it wrapped this up.
Yeah.
I know you break character all the time. But not today. I think you've already broken character. Oh, okay. Was I supposed to get something from that? Show address as plain text. You're not an idiot, are you? But I don't want to be mean. Once again, the address to write down. Oh. Was OBS's frame rate fast enough to catch that? Or did... I don't know if OBS's frame rate was fast enough to catch that. It basically flashed the text for like maybe 2 frames. Actually, it will be today. Just got hit by her. Oh yeah. I saw your post on the RPG Maker forums about that. Glad to know you're okay. I've heard it's been pretty rough out there. I don't know what to say other than, I guess, pointless wishes go out to the folks in Florida. Not that my wishes do anything. That's why I said pointless. This game offers the possibility of an interactive introduction. Following this, the prologue will be played, but you can skip this and start playing directly. We'll just start the interactive introduction. Resources are loaded. Resources not found. Developers thrown out of bed. Resources have been provided. Loading process. World.exe is created. What property do you want your world to have? Let's see. Use the keyboard to type. Press enter when you're done, or press the arrow keys to switch to manual character entry. 2 things I like here. First of all, redundancy. Redundancy. Having more than one way of informing players is good. I know they've already asked this question, but they've put the question prompt on the screen, so in case you forgot what it is that you're answering, whether you're not paying attention, or you got distracted for a moment, or whatever the reason is, you don't have to worry about it. The question is still there. It's one thing I see a lot of other RPG devs don't do, and I will be fair here. I think that's kind of a hard thing to consider. You don't realize how important redundancy is with information until you are the player and realize, oh shit, I missed that thing. What was that thing again? Two friends got their house completely flooded. Anyways, to the game stuff. That's rough, man. Second thing I like is that they allow keyboard input. That's nice. I don't know what property, since this is a game about idiots. How about an idiot? That's the property. Trees and mountains are purchased. Rivers are filled with beer. Error detected. Rivers are drunk, empty, and filled... Oh, I missed that. Sea cucumber is fantastic. That's actually a reference to one of the previous games. People are born. One of their previous games. Non-intelligent species discovered. The idiot. What would you like to be called? Horst is totally fine. Ah, and they broke the redundancy. Although I guess it's okay, because there's a picture of a guy there. So... Brains are adjusted. Please place your hand on the scanner. Oh, sorry, a critical error has occurred. It seems you are too smart for this game. Please synchronize your intelligence with the game. Press the displayed keys. What? Oh. Huh? Okay. Evaluation, you are an idiot. Loading process continues. Alright, okay, here's again some clarity. They want to use cute names? Totally fine. Dumb, dumber, dumbest. That's fine. But sometimes that doesn't provide enough information. What do? In parentheses, they used a normal explanation. Again, it's something I see RPG devs not do. They want to use cute names for stuff. A good example was the previous game we were playing, Gears of Phantasm. The developer did change their main menu, the title screen menu, to use normal names on their title screen, like new game, load game, and stuff like that. But it wasn't always like that. They wanted to use cute names for those things, and those things were just not clear. Look, if you want to use cute names for standards that have existed in software, not even just games, but just software in general, you have to make sure that the user understands what those cute names mean. And this is not the only way of doing it, but this is definitely a very straightforward way of ensuring your player knows what the fuck these options mean. I like it. All right, this guy knows what he's doing. I'm gonna put on reviewer mode, game journalist mode, easy. Ready checker exe is successfully failed. Game has started. Queue position 593. Thanks for waiting. At any time, in any country, in any city, it doesn't matter when and why. Does a magician have a time problem again? Just this time without magic. Huh, what? It's already bright? Did I oversleep? It's almost noon? You spawn of hell! Newfangled filthy thing of an alarm clock? Damn you! Earlier, in my time, there were no such things. Back then, I, the great and unique Magifuzzle Tortopia Fizzleder, did not oversleep a single minute. It was too late. What do I do now? There is only one thing that helps. Quaeso convertem tempus. That's better. Oh, that darn headache. Stupid alarm clock has only one task and can't even do that properly. I should throw this newfangled stuff in the trash. That's right, Magifuzzle. A wizard of your caliber doesn't need the new technology at all. It's only for this stupid and incompetent lower people. But you, Magifuzzle, you are made of something greater. What do you want to tell me with that, Mirror Gossamer? My name is Fuzzle Magi. Magi? Probably Magi. Remember that. Yes, go ahead. You will experience a fateful encounter today, an encounter that will show your soul majesty. Oh, tell me more. Meeting with Romstom. I don't actually know what the umlaut over the O means. On the 9th chime, you should hurry. This scene has a lot of detail. Yeah. I really think this guy knows what he's doing. When it comes to game development, I will say, I've only just now noticed this. The nameplate does not seem to match the rest of the window. I wonder if that was intentional, because I'm not even really sure how you do that, unless this window is not like drawn, but instead is just a picture. But if you're using just a picture, why would you make it look like a drawn window? Weird. Crap! A few failed cleanup spells and subsequent floods later. Phew, so much to clean up. It would go faster if it weren't for this stupid headache. Oh dear, she's early. I'm not even done yet. Who are you? Ugh, this pain. I was gonna say something about those screams, but never mind. Son of Elnera Mea! I thought that was a nice animation. It looked like it had a lot of frames for the stand-up animation. Not again! Oh no! Master, did something happen to you? Where were you when I needed help? Now I don't need you either. I'm sorry, we were in the garden when we heard the screams. We ran as fast as we could. I even brought you a blood orange. What? For what? Well, in case a blood transfusion should be necessary. What? You too? Am I surrounded only by idiots? Another city, another time. Doesn't matter at all. Anyway, there lives an idiot, together with many other idiots in their own idiot city. This city was built specifically to separate the idiots from the rest of the population, but the idiots do not know that they are... I'm sorry, what? Maybe too many drinks. But the idiots do not know that they are any. Rather, they see all other people as strange. Therefore, they are not dissatisfied with their situation, but are happy about their own little city of like-minded people, shielded from all the madness out there. Because, of course, only idiots can be so stupid as to want to stay outside this protected area. Let's look at a typical day in the life of a typical idiot. His name is Horst. I have negative 500 money. I didn't know this was a game about my life. And the house is pretty much just as filthy as my own house. Fortunately, I don't have any bugs in my house. It hasn't gotten to that point yet, but it's not clean either. Huh. No wonder I'm enjoying this game so much. It seems to be an autobiography. Hi, isn't the day idiot? Fussel is totally fine. But now, let me shit in peace. Alright. Does he trip over the bear? Why does he trip over the bear? Why does that happen? Crawl in. I'm not an idiot. Everyone knows that only Santa Claus is allowed to do that. This is the socket for the wireless LAN cable. Okay. Oh, my chamber pot. I should empty it out. I don't have a chamber pot, so it's not entirely accurate. Oh, that's a nice touch, too. It's not an entirely accurate autobiography. Not yet, at least. There's a little transparency effect when you go behind that thing. That's nice. Yeah, that's pretty nice. What I think it is it's not that you're actually... It's not that these tiles are going transparent. It's actually that you are going transparent. Like the player sprite goes transparent and then walks on top of this stuff. It's kind of interesting. It's a cool idea. A railing so that I don't fall off. I don't leave home without my best friend, the woodlouse. Oh, I guess I have to talk to him again. But I thought he was shitting in peace. Are you done now? Sure, a long time ago. Shall we go? Stupid man wants to see you. Oh, what could he want? How should I know? Let's go and ask him. I like the little trombone there. That was nice. You can talk to your woodlouse at any time. For example, if you need tips on what to do. Just click on it to do so. In this demo, however, it doesn't have much to say yet. Also, you can switch back and forth between the two characters at almost any time by pressing A, or R1. As a woodlouse, you can get into places that a human would be too big for. In the demo, however, there is no use for this yet. Oh, okay, alright. Well... I'll play as him anyways. Oh, I can't exit as him though. .com, the city where the idiots live. Poignant. Man, those clouds are moving fast. Those clouds need to chill out. It's a nice effect. The sun rays. This all looks pretty good. What do you call a cow with no legs? Ground beef. Hey, do you see our oak poop man? Don't touch it or it'll eat you. That one? I mean, I can't really touch it. Do not disturb us. Do not disturb us. Hi, how are you? Not so good right now, unfortunately. Oh, what's wrong? I have ear cold, so tinnitus in the eye. Oh no. What? Outhouse digger, idiot. I have... Oh! Oh! Are they... Are they all called idiots? Because that's what, when it asked me about the world, I put in idiot. So, are they all called idiots because I wrote idiot? I think that's what it is. I totally missed what you said, Mr. Simple Gaming. This is a great game, as much as I hate to see these weird joke games to be well made. I don't even think it's really a joke game is the thing, though. Like, I mean, to me a joke game is something that's probably pretty short, not taken too seriously. And granted, there are probably a few exceptions that probably go on for a long time. But I think they're not like a serious product. I think this game is just a lighthearted, humorous game. But I think it's the development is very serious, if that makes sense. I have to dig new outhouses. Shitty job. Are you going to put a door in this time too? Nah, otherwise you could look through the keyhole. Are you digging the toilets with a spoon? Of course, I'm not stupid. I'm just taking a short break. Take a look at this garden if you have nothing better to do. It's really groovy, isn't it? Go in here. Sorry, the other houses are not yet accessible in the demo. With a team of idiots, everything just takes a little longer. Fair enough. I really think this is a huge improvement over the previous game I played by him. Statue of Zion, builder of .com. Oh, that's the developer. The previous game that I played by him was like I think it was a game jam game, to be fair, but it was also like a survival game. You played as a pigeon or a bird, and you had to like find food. You know, this basic survival stuff. Find food and water and survive. Try not to get eaten by animals, and apparently people just hated birds for some reason and just killed them on sight for some reason. Way into the plants, not passable without permission of the chief idiot. I didn't really have a good time with this previous game, but this one, like, I think that Swift's Life game released in 2020, maybe 2019, I don't know. I'm sorry, horse, but you know that I won't sell you anything anymore. Pay off your debts to me first. How much was that? 500 Dalma coins. Before that, I don't have anything for you. So yeah, but within that span of time, there's been some pretty substantial improvements. Although I guess the same thing could be said about my own game. It's kind of funny looking at my previous game. It looks incredibly amateurish compared to like the current game that I'm working on. Not just because my previous game I used 0 plugins, so obviously I was just using the vanilla engine, but besides the fact that I was just using the vanilla engine, just my understanding of how to use the events and basic engine functions has improved quite greatly. So, and that's, like I said, I haven't even been using RPG Maker for a year, which I think that's a testament for just how easy it is to learn the engine. Which, if there's anything to be said about RPG Maker, is that it is so easy to learn. Now, I feel like I've gone to every possible choice here and talked to every... Oh, wait. No, I haven't gone here. Hello, horse. I've been waiting for you. Our mayor wants to talk to you. Go inside and don't touch me. Same old. The game you'll be reviewing is worlds apart from what I'm doing now. Fair enough. No, that's fine. Oh yeah, I totally missed that. Hey, don't worry about correcting yourself. Trust me. I make a lot of typos. Don't worry about it. Oh, the house is much smaller on the inside than it is on the outside. That's the joke. I get it. That's the joke, because typically in an RPG Maker game, also they have the sensor bar. Anyways, I get it, because in the RPG Maker games, typically it's the other way around, where it's like the house looks really small on the outside, and then you enter it, and it's like a fucking mansion, right? Horst, there you are, finally. What's up? I've heard very, very bad rumors. There seems to be people who call us idiots. What? I know, absolutely unbelievable. We're not idiots. That's just not right. See, now... now I've confused myself, because I wonder... Surely in this case, they're talking about the actual word idiots. I think that's what it is. But it's kind of... I'm not 100% sure about it. I'm not 100% sure. I'm like 80, 70% sure that it's idiots. And then the other 30% makes me think, I wonder if they're saying people are calling them whatever word I put in at the beginning of the game. Like if I put in pudding at the beginning of the game, they'd say, we're not pudding. 70% sure, though, that it's actually idiots and not the fact that I put in idiots at the beginning of the game. That's just not right. So pay attention. I want you to leave the village and find out who started the rumor. Then make it stop. I'm supposed to leave the village? We have never been outside the protected area. Oh, that's all right. After all, you're not an idiot. You can handle it. Here, you have my official permission and a map of the world so you don't get lost. This is where the demo ends, but you are welcome to look around the village. I hope you enjoy it. Well, that's a really short demo. I do like their trombone, though. Yeah, that's an unfortunately short demo, I do have to say. So townsignup.com, why is our town actually called that? Very simple, an address is where you live, and an address always ends with .com, so we live right in the address. Isn't that incredibly clever? Yeah, I feel like the demo doesn't really give you much substance. It doesn't really give you much of a feel for what the game is. Not necessarily, but I don't know. Yeah, I guess it doesn't really give you much of a feel for the game. Like, it's... You get a taste of its character, and it certainly has character. I'm going to give it credit there. I kind of like its character. But as for what the gameplay is actually like, I don't really get a sense of that. So I really kind of think that's an unfortunate place to end the demo. And there's still 8 minutes on the clock. So I guess, here's what we can do. I'm going to start a new game. I'll just say, well, it's okay. We're going to start the interactive part again. Can we speed through this? It's not going to let me speed through it. Oh. There we go. Now we're going to put in... Oh. There we go. SGR. There we go. I'm going to put that in there. And we're going to find out what happens. Horse with many spaces. Sure, that's totally fine. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. I just realized it doesn't matter what difficulty I set it on, because there's no combat or anything. Okay, there's all this magician nonsense, which I think, as far as this demo is concerned, this intro means nothing. Okay. I guess I just need to poke stuff until he's done shitting. Do I actually have to wait 5 minutes? There's no way I played around in this room for 5 minutes, right? There we go. Alright, what are the folks called outside? Oh, they're so-called idiots. Oh. Oh. I'm kind of disappointed, actually. I'm not gonna lie, I think... So, I mean, not that I think idiot is... It's not a bad word, but I don't know, there's a lot of PC culture I don't get, so maybe idiot is now off limits too, who knows. But that's why they put the disclaimer at the beginning, right? So, you know, if they're worried about the disclaimer, maybe that's the way to go about it, is let people set the name of what the bad word is that everyone's being called. I kind of like that idea, and I kind of wish that's what it was. Let's talk to him. Horst with many spaces. There you are. I don't remember it doing this shaking last time. Did I skip over that? Oh yeah, okay, okay. No, I didn't skip over. I remember now, okay. But yeah, okay, so everyone's just called idiots. Then, huh. Then I kind of wonder what's the point of putting that text in for the world at the beginning. What's in the diary? Oh, that's okay. What does the map look like? Okay, there's no map. It's weird that it's going to be using pretty normal RPG looking stuff. It's kind of not what I expected out of this game. Although I'm not really sure what I expected. Well, I don't know what else to do. There's still 2 minutes left on the clock. I don't know. I think it's fine if I cut it early, because I've kind of explored the extent of this, I think. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and call it there for that game. It's unfortunate that the demo is so short, like I said. Let me go ahead and, I guess, delete it from my folder. Yeah, so what I have to say about that is that there's a lot of nice touches to this game. The animations are good, the levels are well designed, or the world, the tiles are well done. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say. I like the character it has. It has a lot of charm to it. I'm kind of disappointed that the like text input at the beginning seems to not mean anything. It seems to be totally irrelevant. I think it would be really cool, like I said, if that actually changed the name of what the people are called inside .com village there. And it's maybe worth Mr. Zion Dev here to consider that. Or not. It's up to him. Maybe there's a purpose for that text input that's just not been implemented in the demo. But honestly, because the demo is so short, I don't really have much other opinion to give about the game besides that. That's kind of like, that sums up my thoughts on the game. So, yeah. And with that wraps up all the games that I've had planned for today. Mr. Simple Gaming, if you'd sent that message, let me check that real fast. Refresh the message. The forms. Dungeon Rummage. Let's look that up real fast. So here's how this works. Let me explain this since this is your first time to join. So I stream different things. I don't just do game streams every time just because I feel like I would get tired of that. I kind of want to just space things out. I'd also probably run out of things to play if I just streamed every weekend. I do stream every weekend, but I don't stream games every weekend. Or I don't stream other people's games every weekend. So what I'll probably do next weekend is I have 3 different types of content that I do. I have game dev, which is where I just show off some development with my own game. It's not as popular, but that's okay. So that's probably going to be next weekend. And then the other content that I do is, it's new and still kind of experimental, is I look at like a famous popular RPG, another game, just some sort of game in the RPG genre, and look at why that game works or why I like that game, even if it's not necessarily popular. Like last week we looked at Blue Reflections, which is a great AA game by Koei Tecmo's RPG developers Gust, who are famous for their Atelier series, which I'm not really a big fan of, but they got the green light on making a new franchise back in 2017 or 18. I don't remember exactly when. And their new franchise, Blue Reflections, I really love. So last week we looked at Blue Reflections. I think I'll do another one of those kind of streams. Not next weekend, because next weekend I'll do game dev. Probably the weekend after that, I'll probably do another game review stream. So that's when I'll review your game. So that's basically 2 Saturdays from now. There's Saturday for me. So yeah, I think that's the plan. Subject to change, of course. But I'm interested, and in fact, before I close out the stream here, I'm curious to see your game. So I'm just gonna go ahead and search it. I'll bring this over here for just a moment. And it is called, oh, it's right there, Dungeon Rummage. Steam Dungeon Rummage. I think I misspelled Rummage. But it came up anyways. I didn't misspell it. Here we go. That's it. So let's see. I'll try to remember. I will be honest, I never contact the devs before I do these streams. The Gerald's Venture or whatever was sort of rare, although I told him I was going to review his game, mostly because he'd asked for it, but I didn't even let him know when that was going to happen. It's kind of weird whenever the devs join. It's probably for the best because it makes me behave a little bit better whenever I review the games. I'm not quite so harsh. But anyways, I normally don't contact the devs before streaming. I usually contact them afterwards. After I do the streams, I usually go to their page or whatever, and I leave kind of a summary of my thoughts there because, granted, when I do these streams, I do get a little bit drunk, and I'm not the best speaker either. Let's be honest here. I stutter a lot and spend a lot of time trying to think of words. So I'm not the clearest speaker when it comes to just live speaking. Yeah, usually because maybe some points get lost in translation, I usually go to their page after the stream and then leave a kind of a summary that's better worded, better phrased, and let them know my thoughts. So anyways, I don't know. It's not necessarily weird. I don't know, man. Um. Anyway. Anyways, Mr. Orc, let's take a look real fast at your page. First of all, how are you doing on reviews? 6 reviews. All right. It's better than Gears of Phantasm, but it definitely needs more attention. So let's see. Join Teak, a human goblin half-breed, on her adventure to escape the dungeon of Ekea. Find hidden rooms, use the hook to overcome obstacles, and fight your way through enemies with a twist on the turn-based formula. Manage your bot companions rather than doing everything yourself. Find and collect tools to improve your skills and craft items to improve your bot companion. Each bot has 2 distinct modifications, completely changing how they act in combat. The game features around 3 to 5 hours of gameplay. Are you just an adventurer, or are you a platinum Goba? I don't even know. Beating the game will unlock a code for you in the future that can be used in Dungeon Rummage, another isekai, and unlocking all achievement rewards even more goodies. 10 in total. I have no idea why Steam only shows 6. Oh yeah, it says 10 there. Why does it show 6 here? What's up with that? Maybe it's because of the language. There we go. Wait, no. No, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, right on, Steam, whatever you say. Just right off the bat, I know it's small and it's not going to make a huge difference in your game, but it's kind of like your store page is all about presentation and selling your game to your potential customer. So just right out of the gate, I would probably try to improve this store page. It's a little bit bland. Usually including GIFs or just other stuff to kind of spruce up this section to make it a little bit more interesting to look at. Especially one idea is you talk about with a twist on the turn-based formula, and I see a lot of other games do this. Like if they have something interesting about their combat, then rendering a GIF and putting it there to show off what that means and putting it here would probably help. And that's just one place where you could do that. There's other things you could do, like if you have Tiki, I don't know how to pronounce your character's name, and so if you have any like promotional art, which it looks like you do, maybe having a small little picture of that character here so they know who they are, and that also kind of helps separate each of these sections as well. So not that I've played your game yet. We'll be playing it next weekend, but just off the bat, I think trying to sell your game to people who are, what I was talking about at the very beginning of this stream with my rant, is making sure that this game is interesting to people who are outside of that RPG Maker bubble, and when it comes to, no one knows who you are, no one knows what you've done, what you've developed, and so I know there are some AAA games that maybe have some fairly generic store pages. Unfortunately, no. I know there's some AAA games that have fairly generic pages, but they're AAA developers. The people who are going there to buy the game already know what they're about. You're not. So like I was saying, no one knows who you are. No one knows your history or anything. So you really should try to do your best to sell those people who have at least clicked on your page. That means they're already interested. If they've clicked on your store page, they're already interested enough to at least see what you're about. So once they're here, you need to try to seal the deal. To break out that MLM MLM talk. You gotta seal the deal, man. They've already clicked on your page. Now you just gotta make them into a paying customer. And to do that, you really gotta show them you mean fucking business. They may not be interested in playing the video. I personally, I rarely ever watch Steam videos. I don't know why that is. I just don't. I usually click through the screenshots and then read the about section about the game, and then usually read a few of the reviews to see if there's anything I should really care about. Normally, when it comes to reading reviews, I don't take Steam reviews too seriously. But one thing I do try to look for in Steam reviews is technical stuff. Technical stuff and accessibility stuff, because those are the things that can really like make or break a game. Obviously, if the game is going to crash or has a lot of bugs, then, like I said, obviously, I probably don't want to play that game if it's going to be busted. And then on the accessibility side, I'm looking for things that affect the way that I play games. You scroll right down, yeah. Yeah, usually I jump straight to negative reviews first, too. So, yep. So, and I also read normal reviews, too. I'm mainly looking for technical stuff and accessibility stuff, but also read general reviews, too, just to get a sense of the game. Anyways, yeah. I'm interested in trying your game, man. I see you around the RPG Maker forums quite regularly, so I'm curious to see your game. You're also talking about waiting to see Fortuna's game, so there's Fortuna. I'd love to see Fortuna's game whenever that gets released. There's also RCX. What is it? They actually watch my channel sometimes. Yeah, RCX Gaming as well, who's also on the forums. Curious to see their finished product whenever they get done. And Mr. Leaf, the strange person. I would really like to play Leaf's game as well. It seems interesting. It's on my Steam wish list. But as I said, I don't have money to buy games for these streams. So either I'm gonna eventually buy it one day, maybe a long time from now, and just play it myself, or hint, hint, nudge, nudge. If you're still here, Leaf, you could just send me a key, and I'll take a look at it on stream. I'm not asking for a key. I'm just saying it would be convenient if I got one, then I could actually stream that. So, anyways, Leaf's game is expensive too. Actually, it's probably one of the most expensive RPG Maker games out of the RPG Maker community that I've seen. So it's at 2,000 yen. So I'm guessing it's $20 for most people. So, anyways, I don't know if there's anything else I didn't want to cover for tonight. It's already 12:30, so. But yeah, also, I'll probably check out your streams as well. I'm not a big streamer, which I stream obviously, but I don't really watch many streams. I do watch stream highlights sometimes, but yeah, like podcasts and stuff, I usually just don't have time to sit down and watch. This one's 3 hours and 30 minutes. I usually just don't have time to contribute to that, but I might skim through some of your videos. I'd be interested to see how you do your game reviews. Also, I'm curious to see what game caused drama, so just because drama is always fun. Also, I'll know what game to avoid in the future. So, with that, links in the description to all of these games. So for the people who are watching the archive, make sure to click the links to check out these games yourself. And also there's the links to all of my stuff down below. My book, I talked about that earlier during the rant. There's also my previous game and my Discord server and my music. Those are all down below. And do the usual thing, the like, comment, subscribe, YouTube thing. And before I end, let's see what Mr. Simple Gaming said here. It is what it is. Most people on my stream have me on their second screen while deving and stuff. Yeah, that's tough to do, though. Like, it's hard for me to focus on game dev with, like, talking. I usually have to have music on in the background. I can't do, like, other videos on in the background. Anyways, yep. So that's it. Nice to have you here. So thanks so very much, and take care. Bye.